Since I've been covering some of this MrBeast stuff,
the biggest game show in history ever.
Big money, right? 7 figures, millions of dollars. But you probably know him as MrBeast.
Millions and millions of dollars. Who cares, right?
Yeah, sure. I make money.
I don't make money. $23 million from, quote, scams, shady deals, and his network.
Better than any car, feels better than any shirt or any expensive pair of pants.
Like, I think people overplay it. A lot of people in my situation would be like, yeah, I love giving and it's the greatest thing ever and it brings it about. And even PR people, when I do talk to them, they're always like, you should play it up more.
CGI, these bus wheels are CGI, this explosion is fake, Shredder is CGI.
And it's just like, no, it just feels good.
What do you want to be when you grow up? In 2024, the new normal answer that many children give to that question is, I want to be a YouTuber.
Now, it's cool if you want to be a YouTuber in high school or middle school. Back then, no one gave a fuck.
And much of the reason why is due to the wildly famous and successful YouTubers on the platform. YouTubers who've built empires for themselves and brands that make them out to be superhero-like figures.
I'm gonna give away this $300,000 mountain of money to people in need.
I am standing on $5 million. 3, 2, 1.
MrBeast, or Jimmy Donaldson, is one of the most successful YouTubers of all time. And in his time on YouTube, he's undoubtedly built one of the largest YouTube empires.
Does money buy happiness?
To a point, yes. 20 million subscribers, 30. It's like every step of the way, it's like I just got more and more lonely, to be honest.
But MrBeast built his empire on a foundation of lies, a brand of false images, and it couldn't hold up forever. One day, his empire came crashing down. This is the story of the fall of MrBeast. MrBeast was born with the name James Stephen Donaldson, but later went by Jimmy. He was born on May 7th of 1998 in Wichita, Kansas. Jimmy's mother, Sue, was in the military and serving as a prison warden in Germany, and then ended up getting stationed at Fort Leavenworth.
I'm a retired lieutenant colonel. I ended up being the first female prison warden for the DoD prison over in Heidelberg, Germany.
Though today, Sue's career is much different. Sue works as MrBeast LLC's Chief Compliance Officer. COO.
Sue seems like she works for Jimmy. She's like a head of compliance, okay?
She just makes sure no one steals money.
A senior executive responsible for making sure that MrBeast LLC is also aligned with their internal policies and ethical standards. Well, considering what ends up happening later on with the MrBeast company, I'd say oops. She also manages her son's personal affairs, like his banking. Again, oops.
He decided that his time was better spent being creative, doing him. He obviously, trusted me to do the other stuff.
According to his own statements, he's said, I don't have access to any of my bank accounts. I have a CFO and everything, but my mom is the one who has access to the master bank account. As a child, Jimmy mostly kept to himself, and his mom believes that his introversion is largely due to the fact that they moved around a lot when he was a child. As a military family, Sue claimed, we lived in 3 different locations in the southern US before he was 7. There were no cousins, no aunts, no uncles. It was really just us. Then in 2007, Jimmy's parents separated when he was only 8.
I really didn't have any friends. Like I said, tons of pimples, no money, no dad. It was just my mom who was working all the time.
He now no longer has any contact with his biological father and declines to speak on the reasons why.
It was interesting because it was just my mom. My dad left, so I don't know.
Have you talked to your dad since?
Anyways, new topic.
I want to note here that it's been alleged by many commentators that Jimmy's father was abusive. Allegedly, Jimmy's mother Sue experienced DV when she was in a relationship with Jimmy's father, but it seems like the main reason this has been alleged and spread online is because of a specific Reddit post, as well as claims that Jimmy's mom Sue wrote a book on domestic violence recovery and had a blog about it. The thing is, this blog has since been removed and it's hard to tell if these claims have any further backing to them, so I don't want to heavily make this claim without a lot of evidence to back it up. On top of that, Jimmy also claims not to have any vivid memories of his childhood before the age 11. I want to note here that this experience of someone not having a lot of memories of their childhood can be a common experience for those who've gone through trauma. Traumatic experiences can have a profound effect on memory function, often leading to memory loss as a coping mechanism, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily Jimmy's experience. Of his past memories, he said, "I'm very forward thinking. F the past, it's already happened. I'm trying to conquer the future." Even as his family settled down in North Carolina, Jimmy had very few friends growing up.
I didn't talk to anyone. I hardly had any friends because I was so obsessed with YouTube, as back then just no one cared.
Dude, if I don't have 1 million subscribers when you see this video, my entire life has been a failure. I better have 1 million subs. I better have 1 million
And I'm just 8,000 subscribers here. 8,000 subscribers. No one talks to me. Everyone tells me I'm too obsessed. Everyone tells me to get a f***ing life.
The one word that those who knew Jimmy Donaldson often used to describe him was obsessive, and this quickly transferred onto YouTube when he discovered the platform. There's a 5-year point in my life where I was just relentlessly, unhealthily obsessed with studying virality, studying the YouTube algorithm.
I was like as awkward as they came. No money, no nothing, and I just basically just obsessed over YouTube.
But Jimmy's obsessions sometimes made it hard for him to make friendships. "I'm not really good at keeping friends. All my friends revolve around work." He also spends very little time with his family, including his older brother CJ. CJ's a fellow YouTuber who Jimmy describes as being like him but less successful. As a kid, Jimmy enjoyed playing baseball until he was diagnosed with Crohn's disease in his sophomore year of high school. Crohn's disease is an autoimmune disorder characterized by intestinal distress.
I got Crohn's when I was 15, so I played baseball nonstop. And then when I got Crohn's, I lost like 50 pounds. But then once I got that, which was probably a blessing, I was like, I don't care anymore. And I just went all in on YouTube.
Nowadays, Jimmy has all of his personal meals prepared by a private chef to help with his symptoms of Crohn's disease. Because of Jimmy's Crohn's disease, he also spent more and more time indoors. Being inside with very little to do, he eventually turned his obsession to YouTube content. And after high school, Jimmy made a group of friends who were just as obsessed with YouTube as him. He and his friends did absolutely nothing but just study what makes a successful YouTube video.
From like learning how to editing, the pacing of the videos, like ideas, what's going viral, what's trending, what's hot. Basically what I did was I somehow found these other like 4 lunatics, and we basically talked every day for 1,000 days in a row and did nothing but just like hyper study, like what makes a good video, what makes a good thumbnail, what's good pacing, like how to go viral.
But it seems that Jimmy's had this dream for quite a long time, as his YouTube videos go all the way back to when he was just a child. When Jimmy was only 11, he was uploading videos of himself, usually playing video games like Minecraft and Call of Duty.
Hey guys, this is a new mod I found, and I just have fun playing around by myself in this mod.
By age 13, Jimmy started a new channel called MrBeast 6000, since MrBeast was already taken.
MrBeast 6000, oh.
At first, Jimmy would make a bunch of random videos, seeming to try different trends and see what would stick, what was getting the most views. He did a lot of video game commentary and made videos estimating how much different YouTubers made on the platform.
Today we're going to be talking about how much money YouTubers make. I see comments about YouTube money all the time, and most people have no idea what they're talking about.
When it came to YouTube, it seemed like Jimmy was very obsessed with success and finances. A few of these video concepts stuck, and slowly MrBeast started gaining more subscribers and earning money from his content. MrBeast makes a good portion of his profit through brand deals. His pitch deck to different sponsors in hopes that they'll choose to sponsor his content shows the tens of millions of followers that he has across all social media. The pitch deck talks about how MrBeast is the most subscribed YouTube creator in the world, and also shows the previous brands he's partnered with, like Walmart, Current, Discord, Social Point, PayPal, YouTube, Crash, Epic Games, Coinbase, Microsoft, Honey, Verizon, Chipotle, NordVPN, TikTok. They then have a slide on the pitch called the Beast Consumer. They claim that 70% of their viewers are male, and the age distribution is 25% of viewers from the ages of 13 to 17 years old, 33% from the ages of 18 to 24 years old, 18% from 25 to 34, and 16% from 35 to 44.
The average demographic is what, 13 through 17? Is that the biggest spike in your analytics?
Well, I mean, mine's horse. It says like 18 to 24, but I know all my fucking viewers are little kids. And then I have like a fucking massive one for like the 40-year-old range because all the fucking idiots are on their parents' account.
And he gained more and more success the more he experimented with his content, quickly realizing that if he made more and more outlandish videos, those were the videos that would get views. In one video, his friend wrapped him in 100 layers of toilet paper and saran wrap.
I just gotta get that first few rolls up there, and then after that we're good.
3 layers of toilet paper at a time. Oh, I can get through it. Sweaty.
In another video, Jimmy counts to 100,000, does nothing but just count to 100,000.
923,901, 23,992. Make sure you like the video, drop a comment. 100,000.
And subscribers were definitely a main goal of Jimmy's. In a video made in 2015 where he addresses a future him, he says, "I hope you have at least 100,000 subscribers."
I hope you have at least 100K subs. I'm gonna have 200. Yeah, I'm gonna have 200K subs.
Jimmy ended up enrolling in community college around the time his YouTube channel was picking up traction, and he claimed he never attended a single class and dropped out midway through the semester.
I graduated high school, and my mom was like, either move out or go to community college. And I didn't have enough money to move out, but I hated school with a passion. But she forced me to go to community college. I would act like I was going to community college, but I would just work on videos in my car and edit and stuff like that. I had straight zeros. And so now the clock had started, because once my mom found out, I was screwed. There's a lot of arguments, a lot of drama, but ended up working.
Jimmy then moved into a duplex with his friend Ava Chris Tyson. Just around this time, Jimmy ended up reaching 750,000 subscribers. He also received his first brand deal, all of his dreams of being a successful YouTuber coming to fruition. When you end up boiling down the formula of a MrBeast video, it all actually seems quite simple. At their core, the premise of MrBeast videos is that numbers with a lot of zeros are impressive. Surviving 50 hours in Antarctica, why not 24 hours, which makes a day, or 48 hours, which makes 2 days, because it doesn't have a zero attached to it. Eating a $70,000 golden pizza, $500,000 game of tag, $1 million hide and seek, or 1 billion Christmas lights. All extreme numbers that shock people, but also eye-catching numbers that are easy to see.
I was offered $5,000 for a video. I was like, double it, and I'll walk outside and I'll give it to a homeless person. I was like, $10,000 just looks better in a title. It'll get more views. My mom's like, why don't you just give away $8,000? $9,000? Why all 10,000? I was like, Mom, it'll look better in the title.
Jimmy must have noticed this trend early on, like in the video when he counts to 100,000, or when he watched Jake Paul's It's Everyday Bro for 10 hours straight.
God church!
Jimmy, now just full-blown MrBeast, was making the wildest dreams of a 10-year-old boy come true. From putting millions of pennies in a friend's backyard.
That is $1,000 in pennies. So when he gets home, there's gonna be $20,000 in pennies laying across his entire backyard.
Buying hundreds of leaf blowers to make a hover field. They were so influential, they started an entire YouTube genre called junk lord content, known for its extreme amount of waste.
And today, we're talking about the most popular genre of video on YouTube right now. I wanted to dive in a little deeper to address what I'm calling junk lords. Just getting millions of gallons of slime and just putting it in a pool. 100 million Orbeez in a backyard? He's burying his friend in Orbeez! There's so many Orbeez!
Forbes published an article about this phenomenon, stating, with videos like dropping expensive things into 10 million Orbeez, smashing 30 iPhones with a hammer for science, and can 10,000 condoms stop a bullet? Wow, YouTubers really answering the important questions here, asking the things that need to be asked. YouTube creators are bragging about the pointless, extensive waste they generate, and yet tons of people view and love this content.
And they're just throwing this in, just with reckless abandon. I cannot keep up with the amount of junk. If I had to bet, I would say at the end of this video, they probably do not show how they clean it up. Oh boy, he's just throwing garbage around his backyard like it's nothing.
But the video that Jimmy says completely changed the MrBeast channel trajectory wasn't a junk lord content video. Instead, it was a video made in 2017 where Jimmy wrapped up $10,000 in cash and handed it to a homeless man.
If you want to take it, it's about $10,000. I'm not joking. It's real. So, yeah. So, I have about 1 million subscribers, so I just wanted to do some good. You want to check out his YouTube channel?
Allegedly, this act and the virality of this video after he posted it is what started MrBeast's journey into philanthropy content. Jimmy's philanthropy content became an entire genre on his channel, a genre where he does extreme, maybe even wacky versions of philanthropy.
Everything you can fit in this circle, I'll donate to your charity.
This is gonna feed so many people. I have thousands and thousands of pounds of food here.
And because of these videos' bizarre or extreme premises, they gain lots of views. Jimmy uploaded a video where he gave his mom $100,000 in cash. At first, she refused, but he said if he doesn't give it to her, he doesn't have a viral video.
Well, you're going to take it.
No, I can't take it.
I don't want it.
I promise you Quit is not giving you that.
Obviously, I know. But if I don't give it to you, I don't have a viral video.
So you're using me for views?
Yes, but you get money too, so we're both happy.
So you use me for views and I get to pay off my mortgage?
Mm-hmm. I think it works out pretty well.
What an entrepreneur.
And this system of giving away money has been one that seemed to work throughout Jimmy's career. He became lifted up as some sort of saint-like figure or wacky Willy Wonka-like character, one his fans could look to in hopes that he would bestow them generous gifts. Over time, this system morphed into the standard MrBeast productions we see today. Videos that are incredibly flashy with so many things going on, made to be easy to digest and entertaining, and are usually competitions where people outcompete one another for enormous cash prizes.
Behind me are 100 people, and they range from the age 1 all the way through age 100. And I've trapped each of them in their very own glass cube. The last one to leave their cube is going to win $500,000.
Jimmy also developed a dedicated YouTube channel to just philanthropy. In that channel, he'd often give stuff away with no contest needed, and all of the profits from these videos are allegedly linked to a 501c3 nonprofit organization.
We essentially just started a charity and then made a YouTube channel where, you know, whatever we do with the money from the charity, we film it so that it generates revenue on the back end.
Other extreme generous videos are like when MrBeast gifts a Lamborghini to an Uber driver.
I am going to Uber people, but at the end of the ride, let them keep the car. We literally have a Lamborghini, and I'm going to give it away. You want to watch this video.
Or an entire house deeded to an unsuspecting Domino's delivery person.
I just bought this house and I'm gonna give it to Chandler. Really? No, but I am gonna give it to a pizza delivery guy.
This whole house is for you.
Chad doesn't exist.
Yeah.
In one video, he offers a deli cashier $100,000 to quit her job on the spot.
I'm curious if you would quit your job for $100,000.
No, I don't think I would. MrBeast, thanks to you, I can quit my job now. I'm so happy.
Because of all of this grandeur generosity, the MrBeast name became an almost mythical figure, someone who can bestow random people enough good fortune to change their life. There's been a lot of widespread debate on whether or not this kind of philanthropy, random extreme acts to people for the purpose of a viral video, is actually beneficial to the common good or, well, anyone at all. Sure, those individuals are overjoyed at the time the video is being filmed, but if someone is struggling and you give them a drop of water in a drought, it doesn't necessarily fix the existential issues causing that drought, nor does it help with the larger societal problems at the core of it all. All it does is help you look really, really good. For example, people often cite when Jimmy gives the Uber driver a Lamborghini. This Uber driver now has to pay for taxes on a Lamborghini. They have to pay for upkeep and maintenance on this vehicle. That's very expensive. Even giving the deli cashier $100,000 to quit her job on the spot didn't solve all of her issues. While $100,000 is probably a life-changing amount of money for most of us, it only changes your life if you utilize it in the right ways. That kind of money can actually be a very dangerous thing that can put you into even more financial troubles, which is why so many people who win the lottery end up losing it all. Life is more complicated than a simple MrBeast charity video makes it out to be. The best example of this is when Jimmy gave away $1 million to a subscriber and fellow YouTuber, Mantinice. Mantinice? They both end up doing a follow-up video together where MrBeast has him spend that $1 million within 24 hours. Almost a year ago, Mantinice made a video titled, "Do I Regret Winning $1 Million from MrBeast?" He does clarify that overall he's incredibly grateful for MrBeast, but he does say he has a few regrets. One of his regrets is he wished he had more time to be able to plan out how to spend the money better.
We sat down and we planned all this in an hour, and I wish I would have did a couple things differently on the time management side, which I guess I really couldn't help because I had to spend it. I wish I would have had more time, and I wish I would have planned out stuff better. And he said he was gonna help me and we was gonna invest, but yeah, that didn't happen. So
an employee from MrBeast does claim that they put him on a monthly salary to give him a passive income.
Apparently they just had him on a monthly salary at the MrBeast company.
But I think overall this is a good example of how building long-term wealth for a person, or even just financial stability, is very complicated. On top of that, the tone of some of these philanthropy videos can be strange at times.
We have 3 million pennies.
and we're going to deliver it to my 3 millionth subscriber.
According to the paper titled Good Intent or Just Good Content, Assessing MrBeast's Philanthropy by Rodri Davies, it's pretty evident that the origin of Beast philanthropy content came from a channel that had made its name off of pranks and giveaways. This is because oftentimes in these videos, acts of generosity are presented as things you do to people, preferably as a total surprise, rather than something that's designed in partnership with them and designed to give them agency.
Well, they want me to take this car and they're gonna give me $100 to take this car. Are you serious?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Do you want 10 grand though?
Yes, I would love it.
Here you go. Oh, you're crying?
We just found out my grandma had stage 1 cancer.
I'm sorry.
He has no idea.
He has no idea.
No? You think he'll cry?
I hope
I might
so.
cry.
I think he's gonna break out into tears. Into the camera. These people they're amazing.
This all could be a consequence of what William Davies calls the reaction economy, where the way in which we react to things is now the basic commodity of the internet. It's probably why reaction channels have done so well. People love watching and engaging with that influencer's reaction to things. And it's also probably why prank channels are so popular. Seeing someone's reaction to being pranked, the big reveal.
He didn't really react too much. And he just was like, I opened the door and he just started crying. And he was like, I didn't even think this money was real. And he's like, I just took tomorrow off work and I haven't seen my kids in so long because I work every day.
Jimmy pulls a lot of those aspects into his content. Not only does he have a very successful reaction channel dedicated to reaction content from him, but most of his videos center around the people included in them and how they react to his power and influence in ways that he bestows gifts and competitions onto them. On top of that, because a genuine reaction is ideal, what exactly is the extent of consent that Jimmy and his team receives from the people in his philanthropy content before he films people? What happens if that person decides they don't like what was filmed? Instead of an act of charity that has no strings attached, MrBeast requires people to participate, to put in some sort of labor, mostly emotional labor, to contribute to a successful viral video. Not even to mention the different videos where MrBeast goes to different countries and tries to change their life, filming people of different cultures and dialects, presenting himself as their white savior.
I've been so inspired not just by this organization, but by the people of India, that we have already started looking at a long-term involvement over here.
That's wonderful. Every country struggles with poverty, but unfortunately, India has the highest population of orphans in the world.
Imagine living in scorching heat with no access to food, water, or electricity while constantly fearing for your safety. This is a saddening reality for the people that live in this remote village.
And from now on, the kids will no longer experience darkness at night.
We're kicking off this mission in Khayelitsha, South Africa, where we found an orphanage that needs our help immediately, or it faces the chance of getting shut down.
Some experts argue that white saviorism, mainly by international development organizations in their fundraising, constitute human rights infringements and need to be taken more seriously. Overall, in MrBeast's philanthropy content, he's essentially filming people who've been dealt a bad hand or are at a low point in their lives. He shines a spotlight on them. It's all there within their reach if they participate in his YouTube video. I'm not saying our healthcare or housing situations are much better. I'm only asking, is the process that MrBeast puts those in need under through his philanthropy content, well, exploitative?
It's so funny when they just like Twitter. It's Twitter of all the places where they just make crazy assumptions. No, if a camera wasn't there, or MrBeast is evil, and it's like only nice guys or people who want to look nice, they're all evil or whatever like things. It's like, what do you even mean by that?
Jimmy's wildly successful empire was built off of flashy philanthropy YouTube content.
Invest in these.
Is this real?
Contests with lavish, expensive prizes and unsensible gifts.
I bought this entire island. I have 10 challenges and we have 10 people. And the last one of you to leave this island keeps it.
Ethical concerns arise when the act of giving becomes commodified, the purpose being to boost the creator's brand or revenue rather than solely help the beneficiary. Did anyone else see that sign drop? I guess hanging it up with duct tape doesn't work anymore. Essentially, the main issue with this sort of flashy philanthropy content is it creates a massive power imbalance. Jimmy has tons of power and control over the situation by being the heroic benefactor. On top of that, with everything being filmed by his team, edited by his team, with him having the final say in the cut means he gets to choose the narrative. MrBeast recently responded to the topic of his philanthropy content possibly being exploitative.
How do you feel about people who think that your videos unintentionally exploit vulnerable people for entertainment?
I don't want to take advantage of people or use people. We try to, pick people who, don't really fit that bill, if that makes sense.
Jimmy's answers in this interview are bizarre because oftentimes they never actually answer the question. Like in this case, Jimmy never really talked about whether there were any safeguards in place to protect people from being exploited, or what his production team does to gain proper consent to film people's reactions and entire lives for hundreds of millions of people to see. MrBeast mentions his video 1,000 Blind People See for the first time, saying that if people said they didn't want to be on camera, which he alleges happens often, they wouldn't film them, but would still pay for the surgery they needed.
Like if someone's like, I don't want to be on camera, which this happened lots of times, we just be like, that's fine, you can still have the surgery.
So let's examine the 1,000 Blind People See for the First Time video. On January 28th of 2023, MrBeast uploaded a video titled 1,000 Blind People See for the First Time. The video has accumulated over 186 million views.
I've been subscribed to you for like 11 years.
Really? Oh my gosh. Jeremiah has been blind in his right eye since he was born.
The thumbnail is so creepy to me. These uncanny valley AI looking fake creepy smiles, the way MrBeast is looming over this lady in the thumbnail. The video premise is that MrBeast basically gives 1,000 people a 10-minute surgery for their cataracts, which drastically improves their vision. In the video, someone named Jeremiah was filmed as the bandages from his surgery were removed from his eyes, and you see his genuine reaction as he looks around for the first time since the surgery.
Everything looks so more clear.
Yeah. To make this day even more special, since you're about to graduate high school and go to college, we wanted to give you $50,000 to put towards college.
Even though 1,000 Blind People See for the First Time wasn't Jimmy's most viewed video, it gained a lot of traction outside of the internet ethosphere. The video became a huge talking point across multiple social media and news outlets. People just unsure exactly how they should feel about the video. There is something so demonic about this, I can't even articulate what it is. YouTube and TikTok creator LOL Overrule tweeted, "People tried defending MrBeast in the comments, saying things like, people don't seem to realize that in order for him to be able to keep helping people, he has to turn his charities into content, or he won't make the money he needs to keep helping people." That sort of seems like a snake that eats itself. In order to continue giving money to people, he has to exploit their entire personhood and struggles. And yeah, it may be simple and easy to look at MrBeast as a harmless do-gooder if you've never been put in that position before. But imagine if you were in a spot where you needed help from someone, and in order for that person to help you, they had to blast your entire situation to hundreds of millions of people. And also, why is it that so many people feel that they need to resort to this, being demeaned or exploited in a YouTube video in order to receive any form of help? Twitch streamer Hassan Piker said of the video 1,000 Blind People See for the first time, "You watch this video and go, ah, how cute, how nice. I watch this video and I'm filled with rage that we shut off access to a 10-minute procedure because we paywalled it and decided that some people just simply can't get it. It's so insanely frustrating that it's up to one YouTuber guy to decide to make content out of it that people who are too poor just can't effing see."
That's insane. Anyway, sorry. It's just like a deeply, deeply frustrating concept. No, I was more mad about like the guy who couldn't go to work for 4 months because his eyesight is gone.
MrBeast also tweeted something that somewhat addressed this situation in sort of as apolitical and neutral of a way as possible. "I don't understand why curable blindness is a thing. Why don't governments step in and help? Even if you're thinking purely from a financial standpoint, it's hard to see how they don't ROI on taxes from people being able to work again." To be fair to Jimmy, he's also worked with a lot of different organizations. In addition to MrBeast philanthropy, he also went viral for launching Team Trees in partnership with Arbor Day Foundation.
You guys spammed me to plant 20 million trees on Twitter, Reddit, all over my comment section, so I made it happen. Today, we will be planting 20 million trees.
He also then launched Team Seas.
This is one of the dirtiest beaches in the entire world, and we're gonna pick up every single piece of trash.
But interestingly, Jimmy didn't grow up with much of a passion for philanthropy or much exposure exposure to it. His mother said Jimmy never participated in volunteer activities or even church community service. Jimmy doesn't even claim to have a deep emotional attachment to the causes that he posts about.
I think people overplay it. A lot of people in my situation would be like, yeah, I love giving and it's the greatest thing ever.
So what's his motivation for it all? Jimmy is very sensitive to questions about his motivations.
What brings us happiness is winning and building companies, where it's just having money doesn't, you know?
I have an entire channel built around my nonprofit that I've invested ungodly amounts of hours into building that I'll never see a single penny out of, he defensively claims when asked about his motivation. Though that's kind of a false truth, is it not? Jimmy has reaped massive benefits and become a very rich man off of his YouTube channels.
You have become wealthy, and because you give, like, part of your work is giving away a lot of money.
Even on his philanthropic channel, every aspect of that content is further contributing to his brand and image. But Jimmy is adamant he doesn't make his content for money or personal gain. Cue earlier in this video and throughout his entire career, where Jimmy's biggest interest is to gain as many subscribers as possible.
So you're using me for views?
Yeah.
But money and success aren't motivators for him now? Interesting.
You invest so much money into
all
the
the
show.
money I make. I don't. Why do I need money?
Jimmy claims to view money as a means to an end, a tool for him to utilize so he can completely dominate YouTube.
But did you desire money, like when you were younger? At
I've always
14,
won
15?
money so I can make better videos, so I can grow my channel. Yeah.
But it's like he's trying to deny that he's become a very rich person off of his content.
You have the most brilliant way of saying that you make lots of money.
I agree.
You say, I make all this money, and then you're like, but I spend it all.
Yeah.
But you still get to say that you make it.
There's been various figures that have floated around in regards to MrBeast's income. CNBC reported that MrBeast brings in $700 million a year but says he's not rich. Jimmy Donaldson rakes in hundreds of millions of dollars from his YouTube channel and food brand.
CNBC reported that you were doing somewhere between $600 and $700 million.
That's what they thought we would do this year.
This year.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
reinvest everything.
Jimmy has claimed to numerous people and media outlets that he reinvests everything he makes, all going back into his content.
Let's be honest, you're gonna be YouTube's first billionaire.
Yeah.
Is it happened?
No, actual cash, I'm probably the poorest person in this room. If I make $3-4 million a month, I just spend it on videos the next month. We literally like have razor thin margins and just reinvest it all.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's wild. It kind of sounds like this stupidest thing a business person could do, especially if you employ people across your multiple channels and companies, which of course MrBeast does. If you reinvested everything, your business would be so low on cash that it would completely collapse.
How many employees then?
I mean, across everything, over 100. I don't know.
So that right there is just a flat out lie, in my opinion. Too ridiculous to be true, and something that only his 10-year-old audience would probably believe.
Is that ever dangerous? Like, does a video ever not yield a return you're expecting where you're
A
like,
lot.
oh, this one hurt a little
a ton
bit.
of them. Yeah.
No, you're spending $4 million on a YouTube video?
Well, $4 million a month on videos, yeah.
But these claims make it almost impossible to track how much Jimmy is actually profiting off of his YouTube content, compounded by the fact that his mom has control of his bank account. And it seems most news sources are just purely speculating when it comes to MrBeast's net worth. Celebrity Net Worth has MrBeast's net worth estimated at $1 billion, but an online paper estimated that at the age of 25, MrBeast had a net worth of $500 million. Then in November of 2022, it was reported that MrBeast was looking for investors to buy into his company at a valuation of $1.5 billion. In 2023, MrBeast's empire generated $223 million in gross revenue and was on pace to generate $700 million in 2024. And yet in 2022, Forbes estimated that MrBeast only brought in $54 million. We know that MrBeast is inherently rich. We know off of what he's claimed that he cares about the amount of subscribers he gets, that he cares about dominating YouTube. And yet Jimmy speaks on the matter as if he's just a humble soul, investing every penny he makes back into his philanthropy content, solely for the good of others. On top of that, MrBeast deploys other questionable tactics to try and keep all of his viewers engaged in his content. MrBeast often pitches the idea of subscribing to his channel as an act of charity. In one video in 2021, he tells his viewers, by literally hitting that subscribe button, you are taking 10 cents out of my pocket and giving it to people like we had in this video.
This is Michael. a random subscriber. Basically, until the end of the year, every time someone subscribes to my channel, I'm giving away 10 cents. And Michael, 100,000 people subscribed. So I could give you this $10,000 in cash. And that $10,000 represents 100,000 subscribers.
Jimmy, what happens if 50 million people subscribe?
If 50 million people subscribe,
Yeah.
I have to give away $5 million.
In another video, one of his friends who often makes an appearance in his videos says in a mock tone, so if they hate charity, they won't watch the videos, making it seem like if you care about people and giving, you gotta watch a MrBeast video. As Jimmy says in one of his videos for his philanthropy channel, Beast Philanthropy is literally funded by your eyeballs, not even joking.
And if you're wondering how this is all possible, by watching this video, you helped fund what we just did. By watching this video, you helped us feed people.
In 2022, Jimmy allegedly flew 100 subscribers to a private island. He pitted these 100 subscribers all against each other in Survivor-style challenges for ownership of this island.
We just hit 100 million subscribers. To celebrate, I bought this ginormous private island, and I'm giving it to one of you in this video.
The thumbnail for this video also gives a completely different impression than reality. Talk about Instagram versus reality, maybe it should be MrBeast thumbnails versus reality. Glamorizing everything to be exactly how a 10-year-old would want versus reality, the real island. In May of 2023, a few months after the 1,000 Blind People See for the First Time video, MrBeast posted a video titled 1,000 Deaf People Hear for the First Time.
This is the first out of 1,000 deaf people that we're gonna help hear again. And she hasn't heard her mother's voice in 4 years.
Can you hear?
I love you.
The system for these videos can essentially be boiled down to inspiration. Inspiration is a term used to describe the portrayal of people with disabilities as objects of inspiration for non-disabled people. The term was coined by late disability rights activist Stella Young. The concept critiques how these portrayals can reduce individuals with disabilities to one-dimensional figures whose sole purpose is to inspire others.
So in this case, we're objectifying disabled people for the benefit of non-disabled people, so that we can look at them and think, well, however bad my life is, it could be worse. I could be that person. And it is objectifying. These images objectify disabled people for the benefit of non-disabled people. You know, they are there so that you can look at them and think that things aren't so bad for you, to put your worries into perspective.
Through doing this type of content, deploying these types of tactics, MrBeast just learned how to make more and more money for himself, put himself on a higher pedestal, and then sell all of that in a pitch to potential sponsorships. But no, money is not a main motivator of his. Jimmy, please. In 2023, YouTuber Jacksepticeye criticized MrBeast for ruining YouTube, saying that the culture of YouTube has now become more about views, money, and popularity than about having fun. If MrBeast had fun doing these videos, they'd be longer. We'd see the fun. At the time, plenty of MrBeast fans defended him, but Jacksepticeye's comments are aging pretty well. MrBeast essentially created an extremely profitable system on YouTube, mainly through engaging his audience, making them feel involved with the content, and also making them feel good. Like simply being involved with his content is generating social good. Then he took all of that success and compounded it, developing numerous businesses that parlayed off of his main demographic's interests, driving further and further profit.
Feastables is the business,
Yeah.
right?
There's only so much money brands are willing to spend on a video. It makes more and more sense for me to just build companies that I own because, I know, if I promote something that it converts and it actually leads to real sales.
Why is that? Why did MrBeast go on to create multiple businesses, which he consistently promoted to his audience?
So right now we have our snack brand Feastables. We have a restaurant chain Beast Burger. We have the data company that I was showing you. We have the React channel, the gaming channel, the main channel, and then we have my charity, which also has a channel.
Is it as simple as he claims, that he needs the money from these businesses, the millions and millions and millions of dollars, to continue feeding back into his YouTube content, all for doing more social good? Does the MrBeast channel truly require hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to run? Or is it all just smoke and mirrors? A clever way to hide and conceal where the money is really going. In this section, we're going to address all of the MrBeast businesses, why he started them, and how much money he's made.
Almost everything I'm doing outside my main channel is to make money so I can put it back into my main channel because it's just not profitable. That's why I'm building these other businesses and revenue streams. It's just so I can funnel the money back into my main.
Towards the end of 2020, Jimmy launched a virtual fast food brand called MrBeast Burgers.
MrBeast, whose real name is Jimmy Donaldson, has more than 100 million subscribers, and now he's got a burger joint.
We're now open!
This needs a little more sauce.
Okay. The version they ordered is the one with no sauce.
1 out of 10.
At first, the launch of MrBeast Burgers was a huge success. In a single day, MrBeast opened 300 locations of MrBeast Burgers. But in just a few years after its launch, it faced its downfall.
With the MrBeast Burger,
yeah,
you learned a lot of lessons there. Maybe went too fast. You didn't expect it to be so popular, and you lost control of that.
In the first year, the business brought in $100 million in revenue.
Over 1,000 locations.
Over 1,000 locations.
So how was MrBeast able to do this rapid expansion? It was all through the ghost kitchen model.
The burgers were made in ghost kitchens and could only be ordered on delivery services.
To me, the concept of ghost kitchens always sounded a little bit strange. A ghost kitchen is when the brand doesn't have a physical storefront of its own. You can't go into a physical MrBeast Burger establishment. These brands utilize existing, already successful restaurants to make their food. They also utilize delivery app services like Uber Eats, Grubhub, and DoorDash. When someone places an order on a food delivery service like DoorDash, that existing kitchen plug and places the brand's recipe and sends it out. I would understand the concept behind a ghost kitchen if you were a wonderful cook or had a great idea for a restaurant but didn't necessarily have the means to open a physical location. However, most ghost kitchens are created by rich and famous people who wanted to make more money during COVID. The company Virtual Dining Concepts, which is behind the MrBeast Burger brand, also launched a few other ghost kitchen brands with other notable celebrities. Ghost Kitchen Concepts with TV personality Mario Lopez and reality show personality Pauly D. But MrBeast's edge that made MrBeast Burgers just that much more successful was the power of social media. Not only through MrBeast's own promotion of MrBeast Burgers, but other people's content and videos surrounding the burger joint as well.
This cost me $60. It better be good. That's good.
Which one's your favorite?
The crisp that was good.
It had so much potential, just needed a bit of sauce. He went for this. Just cheese and bread, really.
Jimmy also often put MrBeast Burger logos in his thumbnails. This essentially was like a virtual billboard, advertising MrBeast Burgers to hundreds of millions of people, literally. He also talked frequently about the product, promoting it to his audience and tying himself with the brand.
She just delivered our food. If you're wondering what we ordered, it's Beast Burgers, available nationwide.
A business typically has its own brand, a promise that it makes to its customers. Instead of doing this, social media stars who want to develop a brand just end up tying in their own personal brand with the product. So in the end, the only unique offering that their brand has is that it's tied in with their name. MrBeast Burgers is probably a warning to not do that, because it may have just led to the downfall of MrBeast Burgers. The main pitfalls of this is the brand wasn't hyper-focused on quality, and it expanded way too rapidly to encompass all the areas that MrBeast subscribers lived in. The quality couldn't keep up with the strain and pressure to expand.
I have to say, for a beef-style burger, it's just okay. You know, nothing really stands out for me. No beefy-licious essence. You know, I feel like they didn't season the beef patties at all. It was very plain, very neutral, very boring.
To be honest, it kind of has an interesting smell, almost like a cheap grocery store smell.
So, quality control issues emerged really quickly. Some customers received raw burgers, and other customers found their burgers burnt.
He said that is the Beast Burger.
We can
Look how
use-
small that patty is. And then how much was this, Sam?
It was like 11 or 12
11 or 12.
He said this is a double burger. Look at the size of it. Look how small it is.
Am I crazy?
Am I crazy?
That is wild.
The consistency that customers would expect in a brand, particularly in the food industry, was just not there. So eventually, the unpredictability of the product eroded customer trust and loyalty. Sure, if you're an influencer, you can get your audience to buy a product from you because they like you. But will they return? Not if the quality is unpredictable or if it just sucks.
Like, is there a retention strategy?
At the restaurant?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it's just the food's amazing. You know what I mean?
Now, these are the Beast fries. It looks like they just slapped a piece of Kraft cheese on there. Yeah, everything here is like basically about $10 for each item, and everything's not really worth it.
Food's amazing.
So with MrBeast burgers, there was a rapid decline in overall customer satisfaction, and there were less and less repeat customers. The decline in MrBeast burgers got even worse when Jimmy's partnership with virtual dining concepts went south. In July of 2023, MrBeast filed a lawsuit against virtual dining concepts. The reason being that the poor food quality from MrBeast burgers was damaging his reputation. Then virtual dining concepts countersued. They accused Jimmy of breaching their contract and interfering with business operations. Virtual dining concepts claimed in the lawsuit that Jimmy Donaldson used bullying tactics in order to escape from his existing contractual obligations without sensible reasoning. They also said that he elevated greed over his word and the truth. In a now deleted tweet, MrBeast said that quality control issues with MrBeast burgers was hurting his image, but that shutting the business down entirely was out of his hands. The company I partnered with won't let me stop, even though it's terrible for my brand.
MrBeast burger, you kind of loaned your name to it, and it didn't have the same quality control.
Yeah. Well, that one I can't talk about, but
Oh, okay, no problem. I was wondering.
Yeah.
It seems like overall, MrBeast burger is floundering and reached a stagnation, especially as the multiple lawsuits, which themselves admit to the poor quality of the product, are pending. 2 years after launching MrBeast burgers, Jimmy launched Feastables, a snack company, in 2022. The first product that Feastables launched were chocolate bars.
Buy Feastables. Hey, so I can afford my videos right now. I don't make money.
What do 10-year-olds love? Candy bars. So why don't we give them more of what they love, but with the MrBeast brand, image, and name behind it? Feastables chocolate bars also claim to be a healthier alternative to other chocolate bars on the market, with simple ingredients like organic cocoa and cane sugar. It's supposed to be a more natural alternative to traditional candy bars.
Try to just take categories and make healthier products than what's out there.
But also a much, much worse tasting one, as someone who tried a Feastables bar once. Other food critics and content creators have also tried the chocolate bar and have been seemingly underwhelmed.
I got all the Feastable chocolates. Let's try them and rank them 1 to 6.
I'm gonna be completely honest. Totally not biased, because if it sells more, I make more money.
I'm gonna be honest, and I hope Jimmy is sitting next to me and not getting his feelings hurt.
Let's do it.
It's a little too sweet.
I'll live with that.
It's not bad. It is a lot sweeter than what I would like, though.
All right, here, I got it. Here. All right, this is our Crunch Bar.
Okay. This is the one you believe in?
Yes.
It's not crazy, Jimmy.
No? You don't like Crunch Bars?
I do like Crunch Bars, but again, it is.
I agree. I agree. You know, you are so right. I'm gonna slam this chair. Hershey's sucks. Can I flip the table to end it?
Do whatever you go down there with.
During its inception, the brand Feastables raised $5 million at a valuation of $50 million from investors.
People who never would have bought chocolate in Walmart are walking to the chocolate aisle specifically to buy Feastables.
You're creating a new market.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm bringing new customers to the aisle. It's just like dumb not to have me there. It's like, you know, literally incompetence not to put our bar there.
The CEO for Feastables, Jimmy Murray, different Jimmy, claimed that when first starting out Feastables, MrBeast was fascinated with studying the metrics behind the product. We've been texting frequently, talking about high-level strategy of the business and looking at different designs. But again,
I don't make money.
Money isn't the sole focus of Jimmy's.
When it is in the videos, which is now almost every video, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a brand deal.
Of course.
You know, but there's still set up moments, like in the boat video, in the yacht video, there's like a moment, a Feastables moment.
Part of Jimmy's, or the Jimmy's, business plan was further gamifying the chocolate bar, just like most of MrBeast's businesses, meaning that he turned participating in his business and brand, being a customer buying product, into a sort of game, like how a casino draws in a gambler, or a lottery, because each candy bar that a customer would buy would come with a code on the wrapper, which customers could type into the Feastables website, and some of them would win prizes.
On the back of this bar, you peel this sticker and it gives you this code. I went to their website and it made you go through this whole process of consenting your information and your birth date, and you put the price code in. You get to spin the wheel. You want a mystery video for MrBeast. Click to watch.
He's teaching children to gamble through buying chocolate bars. So they're having a bunch of candy and using that candy to gamble. And yet this guy has the good guy brand image.
We're in the chocolate aisle at Walmart, and we're gonna give the next person to buy our chocolate bar Feastables 10 grand. Every day for the next 30 days, one person who buys Feastables and scans the QR code will win $10,000. As a reward for buying our chocolate bar,
Here's $10,000. Here, don't play with me.
Allegedly, some of the prizes from the launch were a Tesla and a lifetime subscription of chocolate from GoPuff.
we went out, we bought 10 Teslas, loads of cash, and all these prizes you see on the screen. And prizes aside, unlike Hershey's, these bars only have 4 to 5 ingredients and just genuinely taste good. Go to Feastables.com right now and order some chocolate.
Definitely things children need, and one of the ultimate prizes that you could win by buying a Feastables chocolate bar was the chance to participate in a MrBeast challenge filmed and posted on YouTube. The ultimate prize being ownership of a physical chocolate factory that he built in his home state.
One of these 10 people is gonna walk away with this chocolate factory. These 10 contestants are all here because they found a golden ticket when they bought one of our Feastable bars.
Because that's what every kid needs. A chocolate factory. That's gonna solve all their problems. MrBeast really getting down into the nitty-gritty of what kids need. He's just a charitable guy and clearly doing all of this to help the world because the world needs more chocolate factories. Jimmy Murray said about purchasing a Feastables bar, every time you engage with Feastables, it's like a ticket to the spectacle, a ticket to the experience. Lottery ticket? In the first 72 hours of Feastables launch, Jimmy sold more than 1 million chocolate bars. So this strategy clearly worked pretty well on his core audience. Jimmy's chocolate factory video was released a few months later, featured Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay, how's it going, man?
But in all seriousness, why would anyone want a chocolate factory? What would anyone do with this? Start a competing chocolate brand to Jimmy's off of the factory he gave them? That would be funny. I would want to see that.
All the candy's going bad. There's probably a million flies in there.
Will you buy this off of me?
Yes.
For $500,000?
Of course, right here.
Jimmy really went from providing people life-changing surgeries that their insurance wasn't paying for to handing them a chocolate factory to promote his new chocolate company.
This is our chocolate bars that you can order online. Feastable bars, milk chocolate.
A little too sweet.
But of course, MrBeast doesn't care about money. Feastable's success was largely due to its partnership with Walmart.
Yeah. Say that again. Walmart does $4 billion a year in
chocolate sales. Yeah. Same people who I would take pictures with in Walmart, when they see our product there, they're like, oh, it's the guy from YouTube, and they'll buy it.
Initially, Feastables was only available at Walmart, but due to the massive success, it eventually launched practically worldwide.
Feastables, I didn't think we'd be doing the kind of revenue we are. Like by the end of next year, we could be in like 40, 50,000 locations.
But MrBeast was so used to asking his fans to participate in his content that he stopped realizing the reasons why that worked in the past. A year after the Feastables launch, Jimmy annoyed fans on Twitter by asking them to clean up the display of Feastables on store shelves. I need your help next time you see Feastables in Walmart and soon to be new retailers. If you could clean up the presentation and make it look better, that'd make me very happy. I'm building a team to do this routinely, just need help in the short term. The Feastables Twitter account also claimed that people who shared proof of cleaning up Feastables displays could enter a contest to win $5,000. So people submitted before and after shelfies of them cleaning up MrBeast's display for him. Subsequently, Jimmy was criticized for exploiting his fan base for unpaid labor. Probably child unpaid labor. What a charitable guy. But no, MrBeast doesn't care about money. Because Jimmy took advantage of free labor when he could, you can start to see how he ended up being accused of poor labor practices by his own employees later on. Feastables seemed to be the most successful and long-lasting business venture of MrBeast. Eventually, he tried to emulate this model, creating more food products aimed at a child demographic, trying to be the more healthier option of already popular children's food items, with the face of children's favorite YouTube creator plastered all over it. This year, 2024, just a few months ago, Jimmy announced a new partnership, a joint venture, with fellow YouTube creators Logan Paul and KSI. This new venture was called Lunchly, an alternative to Lunchables, and were virtually just pre-packaged meal kits marketed to children.
Perhaps you are familiar with this product. We came together to create a Lunchables competitor featuring the fastest growing hydration beverage ever and the fastest growing candy ever. We'd like to introduce you to Lunchly.
Lunchables is a well-known food brand marketed as a quick and easy on-the-go lunch option for children, but they've faced criticism for their nutritional content containing high sodium and processed foods. So Jimmy, KSI, and Logan Paul swooped in and marketed Lunchly as a healthier alternative to Lunchables. Each box includes Prime and Feastables, further promoting all influencers involved respective companies, along with 3 varieties of food. I think you're not gonna catch me eating one of them, but their meals have turkey with cheese and crackers and pizza with nachos and salsa. I also find it really interesting that MrBeast chose to partner with KSI and Logan Paul. Jimmy immediately aligned himself with KSI and Logan Paul to produce Lunchly's, two influencers who are constantly tied up in controversy. For a purpose of creating a business aimed at making a profit? Interesting. When Lunchly was announced, it seemed that these YouTubers' intentions were really transparent, and a lot of people expressed their dissent. In response to all the backlash, MrBeast wrote, "Lunchables sells hundreds of millions of units and countless people eat it. Jimmy, not for profit, focusing on sales and numbers yet again. Our goal is to give people a better for you alternative. Our turkey meal, for example, is 80 less calories, 60% less sugar, and more electrolytes. We use real cheese, they use cheese product. We use higher quality meat, etc."
Our pizza uses real cheese. Theirs, as it says on their box, is mozzarella pasteurized prepared cheese product. They can't even call it real cheese.
Though, is the product really focused on the health of children if it's only slightly better than Lunchables? Or is it a strategic play? Play something almost identical to the already popular Lunchables product, except for this product has children's favorite YouTubers involved with it. The parents see that Lunchly is a slightly healthier option. What do you think they choose?
Also 30 less calories, 3 less grams of fat, and 8 less grams of sugar. Turkey stack 'em! 310 calories.
230 calories.
21 grams of sugar.
Only 7 grams of sugar.
Dan TDM, a prominent Minecraft YouTuber who has a mainly child audience, spoke out against Lunchly. "What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their fans? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better." The creators involved with Lunchly all responded to Dan. KSI wrote, "Some dumbass YouTuber said this exact same thing to me the other day. Rather than complaining, crying, and trying to cancel a YouTuber for creating a product, here's an idea. If you don't like a product, just don't buy it. Simple."
People just hate us. People just hate us. People hate Logan Paul, okay? They hate MrBeast and they hate me on Twitter, okay? When it comes to Twitter, Twitter is just a cesspool of the most depressed people on this earth.
Logan replied to Dan's post saying, "I'll tell you what happened to YouTubers. We spent our lives creating content and building our brands. Now we want to build businesses. You don't say anything when Lunchables faces bans for allegedly containing lead. But when we create a better version, you're upset? Then don't eat it." What Logan states feels like a red herring because it's just a complete distraction from the argument Dan is making. Dan also isn't complaining about the brand because he wants to or doesn't want to eat it. He's upset with the very clear intentions of the brand, which is just to push out an uninnovative product and shill it towards children. Logan Paul was also criticized and seen as a huge hypocrite because Prime is currently the subject of lawsuits after numerous flavors of Prime were found to contain lead and other forever chemicals. On top of that, Lunchly, according to reports, is not as nutritious as MrBeast, KSI, and Logan Paul claim it is. Dr. Mike, a family medicine physician who creates content on YouTube, reviewed the Lunchly product.
It's been known, especially by experts, that while these kits are fun and tasty, their nutritional value is just not good. And because they fall into the category of ultra-processed foods, they aren't healthy to consume often, period.
23% of Lunchly's calories came from saturated fat, and 10.4% came from added sugars. And the turkey meal is only 230 calories, not nearly enough for children to have during lunch.
Knowing all that, is it fair to say that Lunchly is healthier? I guess one can say yes, but honestly, probably more so as a marketing tactic.
The announcement video for Lunchly also over-sensationalized the difference between Lunchly and Lunchables.
Fiesta nachos. 22 grams of sugar.
10 grams of sugar.
7 grams of protein.
9 grams of protein.
Come in close and look at the queso cheese in Lunchly versus whatever that is. Drip versus stick. I like my cheese drippy.
In one video, Logan Paul ate a Lunchable, spat it out, then commented on how bad Lunchables tasted compared to Lunchly.
All right, we'll start off with the Lunchables.
Bro, I'm sorry, that's trash.
I didn't even know this was an acceptable form of advertising, so consistently bringing up another name brand and saying that your product is better. It feels kind of lazy and just genuinely points out how Lunchly doesn't bring anything new and unique to the table. So MrBeast, KSI, and Logan Paul have to compare it to Lunchables to sell it, instead of just letting it stand on its own as a business. YouTuber and streamer Asmongold both taste tested Lunchables and Lunchly nachos on a stream, and he said they basically just tasted the same. If you prefer Prime, it's going to be Lunchly. If you prefer Capri Sun, then it's going to be Lunchables.
Guys, I feel like this is so anticlimactic. They're basically the same thing. They look different, but they basically taste the exact same.
Lunchly products are marketed as containing real cheese, as opposed to Lunchables, which has a cheese product. And that would all be fine and dandy if their real cheese didn't come with some major complications. Rosanna Pansino exposed a major problem with the Lunchly product when she tried to review it on video. She attempted to compare Lunchly to Lunchables, only to open the product and find mold.
And we just got this one. This was fresh from the store this morning. And there is a ton of mold in there. I honestly wasn't expecting that. I have a fork and I'm just going to dig into it just to see. Oh yeah, okay. That is a ton of mold. This is really dangerous.
The thing that's so concerning about this is that children are consuming this product and may not know to stay away from moldy cheese. They might just open it and consume it regardless, trusting the product and their favorite influencer, MrBeast. Some people surprisingly didn't initially trust Rosanna Pansino's video due to the fact that she's taken issue with MrBeast in the past. Rosanna first started taking issue with MrBeast when she accused him of editing her out of 3rd place in his hide and seek challenge, which is just weird. Why would you edit someone out of 3rd place?
She posted, MrBeast lied and edited me out of the top 3 in Creator Games 3. MrBeast Jimmy had edited the video to make me look like I performed worse than I did.
For Rosanna and other people, it just brought a lot of suspicion that so much of the videos we see of these MrBeast challenges is edited, narrative has been shifted, and since that situation, Rosanna Pansino has been outspoken against MrBeast for a lot of his problematic behavior that has seemingly gone unchecked for too long. But people started believing more and more that Lunchly might have some problematic aspects of the fungal variety. A Twitch streamer also found mold in their Lunchly.
Oh, look at the bottom right here.
No way! What? No, chat, there's actually mold. That's 100% mold. I'm so sorry. Oh no, do you see it right there? Do you see it? Sealed and it's molded. What is this? I'm not lying, dude. Don't open it yet. Don't open it yet. That is 100% mold. No way, dude.
And more people recorded opening up their Lunchlys to find mold inside.
An upset parent just posted these pictures that they took the Lunchly home and it was full of mold and it had a terrible smell.
In a statement to the Daily Mail about this issue, Lunchly said, all Lunchly products go through a stringent review process to ensure the quality and safety of its products. That process consists of multiple inspections and approvals, including that of the USDA, before any product can even leave the manufacturing facility. Initially, only KSI and Logan Paul responded to the controversy, speaking of it on a podcast, laughing it off, and then claiming that the haters just use them for clicks.
Yeah, like I like my cheese moldy, bro.
Yo, going at you guys or at Beast, you could get so many likes. You could be showered in likes.
It is a guaranteed way to get a load of it.
Yeah.
Even Lunchly now. Lunchly's in. Like, man, you want to say something and get some likes?
Yeah.
Just tweet about Lunchly.
I'm so sick and tired of that lame ass excuse whenever an influencer gets into controversy. It's just they're haters. Not only does it feel incredibly self-centered to take people's criticisms of you and instantly brush it off as they're just flawed, they're haters, I'm perfect. In a way, I wish I had just a semblance of that self-confidence and self-belief because they clearly believe they're untouchable, they're perfect. So if anyone doesn't like what they're doing, that's just a hater. A lot of the people who found mold in Lunchlys bought the product first. And if there was no mold in the product, they probably would have been happy with it, and you guys probably would have gained a customer. Lunchly, up. There's clearly mold in some of the Lunchly products. MrBeast recently also responded to the mold in Lunchly claims and continued spreading the narrative that they quality check, that there shouldn't be any mold, seemingly operating on a different realm of reality than what people are experiencing.
The mold thing, here's the thing. Every single Lunchly with cheese meat is USDA inspected. There is no mold when it leaves our factory. There are variables that we just can't control. And that's why every single product in that section, Google it and put mold behind it. It just occasionally happens.
It feels like MrBeast isn't denying that mold has been found in Lunchly's. He's just trying to say, hey, don't blame us. It's not my fault. This stuff happens all the time. So it'll be interesting to see the success of Lunchly with such a disastrous start. But not to worry, MrBeast has other businesses as backups in case Lunchly fails. He recently launched a children's toy product, maybe learning his lesson to not do any more food products since they're constantly having quality issues, but still making a product geared towards a child demographic.
I'm gonna show you my new MrBeast Lab mutators. MrBeast Lab mutators, each sold separately.
MrBeast started a toy line along with Moose Toys called MrBeast Labs.
Launch my brand new toy line, MrBeast Labs, and then have a fellow scientist shake it. This bad boy is 6.5 inches tall.
And MrBeast heavily promoted these toys in a ton of his new content.
Hey, future Jimmy here, and I'm gonna tell you about my brand new toy line, MrBeast Labs Swarm.
You kind of wonder if the children watching MrBeast content differentiated when he talked about his toy line as an advertisement placement, because a lot of these advertisements were made to look like real and engaging videos.
And to demonstrate the product, I made this giant life-size version of the Swarms tube. Then you pour out the water, do the honors, Joel. And out of the water will be revealed which 2 swarms you got.
There are a ton of these little test tube beasts that they're selling, and honestly, I do not understand the difference between them all. I'm clearly not the target audience, but according to the website, in season 1 of MrBeast Lab Mutators, there are 4 unique mutators to collect. Though the toy line is just starting out, it quickly followed the standard MrBeast business model that we know at this point. It expanded very quickly, selling in a ton of different stores, Walmart, of course. You can even buy these toys in Amazon, and aggressively targeting children with the advertisements across MrBeast videos and also on networks like Paramount Plus, where I ended up seeing the advertisement. So that basically all of Jimmy's customer demographic has access to these toys. I can definitely see what a lot of people are starting to complain about, where MrBeast is trying to completely infiltrate the child mind, whether it's treats, food, or toys. Jimmy has made a conservative effort to be the primary product selling in all of these categories. MrBeast has profited immensely from all of his product-based businesses, mainly marketed to children. But no, he doesn't care about money. It also feels like selling to children is the equivalent of taking candy from a baby. It's one of the easiest demographics to sell to. He then took all that money he made off of children buying his products and invested it into crypto scams. Rosanna Pansino released an expose video accusing Jimmy of participating in illegal activity. Jimmy is seen with a group of people while allegedly playing Bust-A-Bit. Bust-A-Bit is a Bitcoin gambling platform that is illegal for US residents.
Holy shit, that's probably the stupidest.
What you can see in the reflection of these large windows at night is the Bust-A-Bit website. This video is only a couple years old, so it shows that he is continuing to do this behavior.
Rosanna also claimed that multiple people have told her that Jimmy pressures his friends and employees to gamble.
With all of that, I am inclined to believe all of the stories that I've been hearing about him pressuring his own employees to gamble.
Rosanna, alongside a former MrBeast employee who we'll discuss in length later in this video, named Dawson, claimed that Jimmy also heavily participated in crypto pump and dump schemes. In the video, Dawson showed Jimmy's crypto account.
He had invested in this company called Refinable. It seems like he allowed this company to use his likeness.
That's him on the banner, isn't it? On the...
Yeah, that's definitely him. He was certainly letting them use his brand to promote this cryptocurrency. I do have his crypto account, and it did receive $560,000 in refinable token.
And soon after this snowballed into serious allegations of Jimmy's crypto dealings. The main claim being that Jimmy allowed companies to use his likeness to promote their cryptocurrencies. This increased said cryptocurrency's value on the market, and then once the cryptocurrency reached its height, organizers sold their holdings to make a substantial profit.
A couple months later, he did invest in another project called XCAD with KSI, checked this crypto account, and once again, 2 months after receiving $277,000 in XCAD, he sold it all.
There was a groundbreaking report shared by online investigators Soma XBT, and then backed up by several blockchain experts that accused MrBeast of participating in countless rug pulls of various crypto tokens.
So me and Logan both bought punks. Gary V, it's like 11 p.m. just out of nowhere, just calls me and he's like, yo, I got like 30 people to call, hop in. I'm like, oh, give. I don't care. He's like, it'll be the best decision of your life. Just get in.
According to Google, because I'm lazy and this is a simple explanation, a rug pull is a cryptocurrency investment scam where the developers of a project abandon it and take the investors' money, leaving them with worthless tokens or no money at all. The term comes from the idea of pulling the rug out from under investors. In the case of influencers like MrBeast, the investors are his young and often naive audience. The reason why crypto influencers can be so insidious is they will market these coins to their audience, who often look up to them and trust them, especially in the case of someone like MrBeast, who branded themselves as a trustworthy, charitable guy. That influencer posts on social media that this next crypto coin is going to be the big thing. It's going to make them so rich. And the audience, trusting them, all invests in that coin, driving up the price of the coin. That influencer invested in the coin much earlier, before they promoted it out, when it was at a very low price, meaning that getting all of their audience to invest in the coin greatly drove up their own investments. Then they pull out, leaving everyone else who invested completely in the dust, taking away immense amounts of profits, all off of goading their fans to invest in it in the first place. And if you've been watching my channel long enough, you probably know this is very reminiscent of a pyramid scheme.
Millions and millions of dollars. Who cares, right?
Yeah, sure. I make money.
I don't make money.
Because it's so much money you make.
I don't know where you're going. I just had this theory
Bernie
like
Madoff. What?
Well, hopefully the Ponzi scheme never implodes. Ponzi schemes are great up until they just go bust.
Here are some other characteristics of rug pulls, again according to Google because I'm lazy. Lack of transparency, meaning the project oftentimes has anonymous developers. High returns. The project promises high returns with little substance or reason why you would believe that in the first place. And then a sense of urgency. Scammers create a sense of urgency or scarcity to push sales, saying things like, you've got to invest in this coin, it's going to make you so rich, but only if you get in early, so buy now. The report released claimed that MrBeast earned potentially $23 million, all from participating in these rug pull schemes since 2021. But he doesn't care about money, right? $23 million.
5 people who investigated MrBeast and found $23 million in profits from, quote, scams, shady deals, and his network.
Where is all that money going? To charity? Off of making his audience lose money in the first place? A lot of this cash reportedly came from a gaming NFT marketplace called Superverse. Superverse gave MrBeast 1 million tokens in 2021. Jimmy then went on to sell these tokens, selling off 7.5 million and then an additional 11.4 million in the following months. If you're interested in seeing the full report on MrBeast's alleged pump and dumps, the report by Lock.io is extremely extensive. While MrBeast used a variety of exchanges, his most common were Gemini and Binance. His Binance account alone has seen transfers totaling 13 million. A lot of other online creators have been called out for this behavior, but MrBeast went under the radar for seemingly a good minute. I think personally this has to do with the halo effect. The idea that the public has trouble reconciling with a persona that an internet or celebrity figure has built for themselves versus their harmful actions. People can become clouded with the idea of a person and take a long time to wise up to their true nature. Some crypto coins that MrBeast has invested in that have seen a stark decline, aka a rug pull, are MetaWars, which peaked at 63 cents and has declined 99.86% since. MGod, which had a peak of $1.64, down 99.95% from its all-time high. Jigstack, which had the sharpest decline of all, down 99.99%. In total, MrBeast extracted $1,310,753 from Jigstack. And there's many, many more that follow this simple formula. MrBeast invests, makes a few Twitter posts promoting it, and then pulls out. People lose money, meanwhile MrBeast and his associates massively profit. Speaking of MrBeast's associates, there are a few people that Jimmy has associated with that have partaken in these rug pulls. Namely KSI, who also participated in Lunchly, so it seems the two are very comfortable doing business with one another, and the crypto investor Alex Becker, who's been captured hanging out with MrBeast in the past. Alex Becker and MrBeast were both early investors in the crypto coin MGod. MrBeast had sent Alex Becker a transaction of 14,540 ERN. The same position would be worth 900k a few weeks later. KSI has invested and promoted multiple coins that MrBeast also invested very early in, and then subsequently pulled out from. KSI and MrBeast were both involved in promoting and marketing the coin Super. They not only both invested in XCAD or XCAD, but were seemingly the faces of it. The coin's social media is promoting that they both had invested. The coin Jigstack, which KSI promoted frequently and MrBeast invested in. Polychain Monsters, now renamed Protocol Monster Labs, KSI promoted frequently and MrBeast invested in. A lot of people have theorized that basically Jimmy partook in insider trading, but that is a hefty.
Wrapping this empire's fall, the Beast Game's nightmare is the final blow. Starvation, injuries, all for entertainment. It's intensely sad. What started as fun escalated to danger. Personally, it's a wake-up call. No idol is infallible. MrBeast's story teaches us to demand real ethics over spectacle. Heartbroken, but hopeful for change.
Claim. At the very least, there was a sort of synchronized rug pull that took place. MrBeast and his buddies all colluding to invest in certain coins, promote them to their immense audience, and then dip out, making as much money as possible.
I don't make money.
But MrBeast doesn't care about money. He's a charitable guy, just wanting to do good on this planet. Don't all of his claims earlier about philanthropy and charity just feel like a slap in the face? Jimmy and his team have repeatedly claimed that it wasn't Jimmy who was running this crypto fund, that he gave control over to someone else to manage all of the transactions.
I was like, oh, this fund is led by someone who knows what he's doing. Here you go.
Just because Jimmy put someone in place to manage his crypto wallet doesn't mean that he didn't have a say on what transactions took place. The onus is still on him for these transactions that he directly profited from, promoting to his audience and then pulling from. All this exposes is that the onus may not just be on him. Jimmy has tried again and again to claim he had no idea what was going on with this wallet, while simultaneously setting up pre-sale transactions and promoting certain coins to his audience. Like, for example, the coin Super, which Jimmy promoted and pre-invested in.
The tweet that he responded to was, there's a gym on the market at eye-watering prices. No coin is mentioned. So they're basically saying, like, there's this incredible play you could make on the market. And Jimmy's response to the guy he got in the pre-sale with is Super. And he doesn't disclose, one, that he set up a pre-sale and he's like in before anyone else, right? Millions of dollars, he's in. Two, that his fund had been selling and continued to sell after that tweet. Jimmy set up the Super pre-sale thing. That is such a big deal. In his whole thing about like, oh, I barely had anything to do with the fund. The most profitable trading decision this fund ever made was set up explicitly by MrBeast Jimmy Donaldson.
Clearly, there's some feigned naivete happening here. Jimmy profited millions of dollars, yet he pretends he's some dumb, bumbling baby who has no idea what crypto even is. So that was the majority of the MrBeast business empire. Of all the businesses that Jimmy started, who is the person behind them? Because Jimmy only shows up briefly in videos, leaves carefully crafted responses in interviews. There's a lot of ways to measure a person: who they surround themselves with, jokes they make, how they spend their time, what their values are. Ultimately, we'll never know who the real Jimmy is, but there's a lot of ways to glimpse it. The businesses Jimmy started and the empire he built shows what he wanted to achieve for himself. But who is the person behind the empire, and what will be left when it all comes crashing down? Let's discuss Jimmy and his associates behind the camera. Jimmy's MrBeast brand wasn't always so carefully crafted and perfectly polished. Back in 2018, The Atlantic reported that Jimmy had used homophobic slurs. Jimmy responded to a tweet saying, "I don't have a printer, F slur." In 2017, he replied to someone on Twitter saying, "STFU, F slur." In a now private video titled "Giving $10,000 to Comments on This Video," Jimmy wears a shirt that says, "I'm not gay, but $20 is $20. In another video, he's standing in front of a pink post-it note that says "gay" with an arrow pointing towards him. I mean, maybe that's Jimmy's way of coming out? At the time the Atlantic article was published, the MrBeast Twitter bio read, "Just because I'm gay doesn't mean I'm gay." It's such childish humor. Of course it's offensive, but it's also just childish and not funny, to the point that it's kind of embarrassing.
QQ, shut the f up, you stupid fat. If the video was lived, how would I call you a stupid? Exactly, it's now lived, dumbass. N-word for $400 money? The most I would pay is like $300. N-word, 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 N-word. Thanks, Hustlin, for the donation. I appreciate it. No, boys. No more typing the N-word in chat. No more cursing. Selling 10 for $69 each. That's a steep price. I don't think you're gonna get any sales. I'm kidding.
The Atlantic contacted Jimmy to give him an opportunity to put his statements in some sort of context or provide some sort of apology or explanation, but he showed no regret and no remorse. I'm not offensive towards anyone. I'm not offensive in the slightest bit in anything I do. I'm just going to ignore it. I don't think anyone cares about this stuff. I didn't know that Jimmy Donaldson spoke on behalf of the entire LGBTQ community, but go off, I guess, King. He then asked The Atlantic if they could simply run a positive article about him, not including his use of slurs. Was he used to people complying with that request? Minutes after the call ended, Jimmy then deleted all tweets using the F slur on his Twitter account. Another clip surfaced of MrBeast on the Hot Wet Soup podcast. One of the hosts talks about Bad Baby. MrBeast says, "Let's be real, you wouldn't put your D word in her?" And then the host points out that Bad Baby was 14 years old at the time.
And he did say that he enjoys the Catch Me Outside girl and thinks she's funny, so let's just...
So that just shows what...
Let's be real, you want to put your in her?
I mean, it's
probably not. She's like 14 years old.
After this, for many people, the image of Jimmy Donaldson was completely fracturing apart, and his family-friendly brand began to shatter. In 2021, there was an investigation done on Jimmy by the New York Times. This investigation claimed that Jimmy had fostered a toxic work environment, screaming at workers, forcing them to work long hours, and calling them slurs.
MrBeast is the latest YouTuber to face criticism for cultivating a work environment filled with favoritism and bullying.
Matt Turner, an editor for Jimmy from February of 2018 to September 2019, claimed that Jimmy berated him almost every day. Jimmy Donaldson allegedly called Matt Turner a slur often associated with people with disabilities.
Matt has previously shared his experiences on Twitter, saying that working for MrBeast was the most mentally draining time of his life.
He'd be like, "What the f is this? This is disgusting. What are you, stupid?" And I'd be like, "Man, like, why do you have to insult me like that? You can just say, this is too much or not enough."
Some of Jimmy's most well-revered and well-regarded videos are when he helps people with disabilities who are unable to receive help through traditional healthcare. And yet behind the scenes, Jimmy is calling his employees slurs used to degrade and insult those with disabilities. The contrast between these two sides is pretty alarming. But Jimmy Donaldson denied the claims of setting a hostile work environment. He said to the Times, "I've literally worked with over 100,000 people. 2 people thought I was pretty demanding, which is perfectly fine. We have high standards, but it's not a toxic work environment."
You sure about that? You sure about that?
The experiences that these employees spoke out about was incredibly brave, especially since they were one of the first people to talk about the toxic work environment of the MrBeast empire. But still, people were incredibly shocked when the news about Ava Chris Tyson and her actions within the MrBeast operations came to light. You become the friends you keep, and Ava and Jimmy have always been close. Ava Chris Tyson is a longtime figure of the MrBeast empire. Within the past few years, Ava has publicly transitioned and faced a lot of online backlash and scrutiny for that. I want to clarify before I discuss all the controversies surrounding Ava Chris Tyson that just because Ava Chris Tyson acted in a very wrong manner does not justify any transphobic comments towards her. A lot of people have taken this controversy as an opportunity to be transphobic, which I think is very wrong. This whole controversy started when Discord messages were leaked between a Discord moderator named LavaGS and Ava Chris Tyson herself. These messages seemed to be very inappropriate, and at the time they leaked, Ava Chris Tyson was 20 years old and LavaGS was only 13 years old.
There's a history of Ava talking somewhat inappropriately to like minors. The biggest accusation came with a guy named Lava. The minor was around 13. This is Lava, and Ava was 20.
Many strongly believe that these messages were evidence of because of the very casual relationship developed between Ava, 20 years old, and LavaGS, 13 years old, and the inappropriate conversations that were had that you should never have with a 13-year-old. A 13-year-old might think they're mature and wise enough to have inappropriate conversations, but a 20-year-old should know better. Initially, Lava spoke out in defense of Ava Chris Tyson, saying that the jokes were just edgy jokes. Lava said, "Ava never did anything wrong and just made a few edgy jokes. I was never exploited or taken advantage of. I'm not a victim of anything being claimed in these videos or at all. I do think ultimately this is Lava's story, and Lava has a right to feel however they want to feel about this situation. Sometimes it's hard for those who've been groomed to realize that grooming took place, especially if you have very specific ideas in your mind of what grooming can look like, and you don't feel like you're a victim or don't want to believe you're a victim of anything, it can be really hard to wrap your head around the idea. Due to all the online backlash, Ava Chris Tyson stepped down from her role on the MrBeast channel. I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things MrBeast and social media to focus on my family and my health. Having said that, I humbly apologize to anyone I've hurt with my unacceptable social media posts, past actions, and to those who may feel betrayed by how I used to act online. To lump these two factors together to create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen. Making bad edgy jokes matters a lot in the context of who you're surrounded by. When you make said bad edgy jokes around a bunch of minors, that has a lot further implications. Around the same time, MrBeast also posted a statement onto X saying, "Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online, and I'm disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I've been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with MrBeast." This sounds promising at first, as if MrBeast took these allegations seriously and wanted to look into the inner workings of the company to ensure it wasn't a culture-wide issue. But then for a period of the next few months, MrBeast remained silent. And unfortunately, the situation with Lava was just the beginning regarding Ava Chris Tyson's wrongdoings. Just the day after Ava Chris Tyson announced she was stepping away, another former Discord moderator, who was a teenager at the time they were a Discord moderator, came forward and seemed to expose the full extent of Ava Chris Tyson's messages on this Discord.
This is a trend of Ava sending edgy jokes to like teens.
His name was Nathan Wayman, and he started working on Ava's Discord when he was only 15. He came forward and stated that Ava used me, manipulated me, and did very inappropriate things with me. In 2015, when Nathan was 13, he started watching the MrBeast channel. 2 years later, Ava tweeted out that she needed help building a server for the video game Gary's Mod to celebrate MrBeast hitting 10 million subscribers. Nathan responded, and Ava moved their conversation over to her private Discord server.
Me and him were both initially involved in running Discord server, helping set up Twitch streams and moderating them.
This Discord server was called Dank Memes, and the private Discord server only had about 20 people, including Jimmy Donaldson himself.
Had about 10 people in it, most of whom were minors. I'm not sure how they got in there, other than me and Lava.
In the leaked Discord messages from the server, Ava wrote that she was the dictator of the server and I can do what I want. For people to further understand the gravity of the amount of inappropriate things that Ava said on this Discord server, Nathan, along with other former moderators of the Discord, leaked over 500,000 messages from Ava Chris Tyson, spanning from 2017 to 2021.
Ava Tyson's Discord server leaks are getting dropped in a little less than an hour. I actually have thousands of Discord messages to go through.
Almost anywhere where these messages have been leaked have been deleted online, so I was not able to find many sources with the original screenshots. However, I did find a random TikTok with a dude showing these screenshots, so I thought I'd show that here.
Things just got worse for Tyson because an old Discord server was leaked and it's bad.
If you've seen my second channel video titled "Why Are So Many Influencers Low-Key Creeps?" you've probably already seen this. She's only 14. Damn. Along with an image attachment that was shared. Sharing images of 14-year-olds? Ava had a message that said, "Buy my feet pics," with a photo image attachment. Was this photo a photo of Ava's feet that she was sharing to minors? Ava also had a message that read, "My PP gets big when I watch anime." While of course these messages are pretty inappropriate in general, again, the context of these edgelord jokes gets even weirder when you know that she was saying this to minors. Ava can't even pretend that she didn't know that minors were in the Discord. Not only because she was the one that invited a lot of them, but also because when the topic of making this Discord just for adults was brought up, probably because of all the inappropriate messages that were exchanged, Ava said that would be a lot of work. She also said, "The internet is full of P content, and what am I, a parent? No, you're an influencer who's been heavily featured on the MrBeast channel, the most popular YouTube channel in the world with a predominantly younger audience. And you're also an adult. What you say to these children has a lot of weight. Children by proxy look up to you, and if you're acting in an inappropriate manner, they would probably deem that as acceptable or okay, when it's not."
This is someone who we looked up to at the time, we idolized, we thought was the coolest person in the world, so they couldn't really do any wrong in our eyes. But looking back, I was definitely uncomfortable.
Nathan leaked over 500,000 of those messages and posted it onto GitHub. But the thing is, if you couldn't already guess by me saying most of these posts have been deleted on any place it's been posted, that GitHub page ended up getting deleted. The messages were removed, completely wiped from the site, making a lot of people start to wonder or theorize if MrBeast's team was trying to cover up this information. In a statement to Rolling Stone, a GitHub spokesperson claimed they were removed because it violated our terms for additional products and features. But in my opinion, just from what I've noticed when researching this topic, PR and legal teams are working overtime to change and hide this narrative. Nathan, Lava, or other members of the Discord would also often refer to Ava as dad or daddy.
Ava seems to have had this sort of like habit of calling everyone dad, or at points daddy.
They would also often have hours-long Discord calls with Ava when they were minors and she was 20.
This turned into us having lots of private conversations with and playing video games with for hours on end. Not only did we do a lot of unpaid work for that he promised he would pay us for, he would also frequently bring up sexual topics that was definitely not appropriate to bring up around 15, 16-year-olds, linking me several different corn and hentai videos. And an NSFW bot in his Discord server would use this NSFW bot to spam different corn images. Both
Nathan and Lava told the Rolling Stone that Ava would often smoke weed on camera, talk about her marital issues, or complain about working on a MrBeast video. After all of those messages were posted publicly onto GitHub, meaning people could blatantly see the inappropriate nature of Ava's messages, LavaGS retracted some of his initial statement. Based on the recent screenshots and messages, I would like to say a statement about the Discord. This was 5 or 6 years ago, and I thought I had a good memory of the situation, but I was wrong. After reading the chat logs, this stuff was inappropriate and wrong. I spoke based on my memory of the situation, and I still do not remember these conversations, but they definitely happened. These conversations should not have happened with people at the age I was at the time. I strongly condemn them. I still believe I'm not a grooming victim, but these conversations should not have happened with me and any other minor in this Discord. I was a minor in this situation, and not the adult influencer who shouldn't have allowed this to happen. I did not see this as wrong at the time. But Ava's actions have gone beyond just an inappropriate Discord. Ava was seemingly a huge fan of the horrific artist named Shadman, who is basically a CP illustrator.
Lolly drawing, which is basically underaged art of girls. Which is crazy to use the word art there. There is a notorious lolly artist called Shadman, and what is Ava's relationship to Shadman? Well, it seems like, for years, an avid follower, or perhaps fan.
There were posters from Shadman hanging in, I believe, Jimmy and Ava's shared home, and other evidence that Ava communicated regularly about Shadman and bought the art.
The most egregious part of the relationship between Shad and Ava is a drawing that, like, people are theorizing might have been, like, contracted, like she might have paid for, or at the very least bought a print of. This is featured in an actual MrBeast video. It's like a MrBeast, like, buying my friend or pizza driver a home video, and here is that exact drawing you can see in the corner.
Rosanna Pansino obtained disturbing messages in a Telegram group chat that both Ava Chris Tyson and Jimmy Donaldson were a part of. On X, Rosanna shared this 7-minute video featuring these disturbing messages. And in a good amount of these messages, a lot of people, but mostly Ava, are making disturbing sexual jokes about children. Frankly speaking, while I'll show some of the messages on screen here, I don't feel like fully diving in and discussing every single disturbing message. As you can guess, there's a lot, and I feel like that would just be terrible for everyone's mental health. Rosanna also wrote on X that she turned the message logs over to the FBI.
I tied up an FBI agent.
Rosanna also posted a YouTube video about this titled, MrBeast knew all along, 1,000+ leaked messages.
The proof that Jimmy knew about Tyson's behavior is right here. Ivanka Trump when she was 13. These are all just their work chats from 2020 to about 2021 on Telegram. I verified the legitimacy of these chats with multiple former employees, and let me tell you, they are absolutely insane.
Therefore, his post on X, where he claimed he was just completely shocked about what's come out about Ava Chris Tyson, may not be entirely truthful. These same inappropriate messages are featured on this Telegram in which both Jimmy and Ava go back and forth with one another. It almost seems like this sort of very inappropriate humor was commonplace. But Rosanna's claims about reporting Jimmy to the FBI might never lead to an actual investigation, and especially not an arrest. Legal expert Nicole Brunecki told Newsweek, if the internal messages were mere exchanges of offensive content and there are no actual victims, children or otherwise, the FBI will likely take no action. A woman named Jess, who was Ava's executive assistant from 2023 to 2024, posted an over 60-part series about Ava's inappropriate actions on X.
Jess, who accused Ava Tyson of I think her case has been sort of mostly ignored.
Since Jess is also transgender, Ava messaged Jess on X to ask about her transition. To the Rolling Stone, Jess explained, to be reached out to by a celebrity that was in the closet and for them to also tell me that they were transitioning, that created an emotional connection between us, which made it hard to focus on the power dynamic. After it seemed like the both of them bonded, Jess asked Ava if MrBeast was hiring, and Ava told her, I'll definitely keep you in mind. Eventually, Ava did hire Jess to be her executive assistant. But it was only after Ava developed an inappropriate relationship with Jess that was not conducive to a positive working environment. Almost as if Ava was testing Jess to see what she was willing to do for the job. Ava and Jess moved their chats to Discord, where Ava started asking Jess to do S-acts on Discord calls. I always felt like I had to say yes if I wanted to be in a video or get a job, Jess said. In June of 2023, Ava offered Jess a job as her executive assistant at the MrBeast company and said that Jess could live with her. Ava flew Jess to Ava's home in North Carolina, and Jess stayed at Ava's place. During Jess's stay, she claims that Ava began to take advantage of her, and soon after a toxic work environment was created where Jess felt like she had to actually pleasure Ava, who was also her boss. I felt like I was going to be risking my job if I did nothing or if I walked away. Jess also said it took a long time for her to admit to herself that what happened was SA. Jess claims their final S encounter was in December, and after that encounter, Ava became more distant, which according to Jess, led to a lot of fights between us, where it was mostly just me trying to stand up for myself and saying that this is wrong. Eventually, Jess says she hit her breaking point and just packed up and left on a few days' notice, and Jess also reached out to MrBeast HR to discuss some of the things that happened between Ava and herself. But it doesn't seem like an investigation was ever done before people publicly knew about Ava's wrongdoings.
She was a MrBeast employee, and you can see in her evidence in her communications with the company the clear signs of a cover-up, threatening her with legal action and emails and saying like, oh, we're gonna have a law firm investigate this.
MrBeast seemed to be aware of Ava's inappropriate jokes since he was in both the private Discord and the Telegram chats where Ava was participating in this kind of action. A report was also sent to HR about Ava having an inappropriate relationship with Jess, coercing her to do uncomfortable S-acts, and yet nothing was ever done until it became a public issue, and I think that says a lot. Amidst the Ava Chris Tyson controversy, former MrBeast employee and YouTuber by the name of Dogpack404 uploaded a video titled, I worked for MrBeast. He's a fraud.
I'm a former MrBeast employee.
In the video, Dogpack404 exposes MrBeast's business practices.
Today, I am alleging that the company rigged videos and did illegal lotteries and sold fake signatures. I would consider that fraud, okay? There's a big emphasis at the company of like how to manipulate children, like understanding their psychology and everything.
He plays a clip of Jimmy's appearance on Bradley Martin's Raw Talk podcast, in which Jimmy and Bradley talk about whether or not Jimmy's videos are fake.
I remember when I first started seeing your videos, I was like, gotta be fake.
Oh yeah,
like,
it's a huge problem for us now.
Have you ever faked a video?
No.
Dogpack404 shares snippets from MrBeast's videos, pointing out some inconsistencies and where things may have possibly been fake.
But this train track is CGI, these bus wheels are CGI, this explosion is fake, this shredder is CGI, this car is digitally lifted, this pit is fake, this guy is fake, this raccoon is a paid actor, this island costs more than $1, this city is not abandoned, these buildings are CGI, it's not your only way out, you can literally get an Uber to the airport for $20. That's not a lurker, it's just a guy. This whole room is fake, this contestant is an actor and a secret employee at MrBeast, they had him got through this fake door twice, this line is scripted, this action is scripted, in fact, pretty much all the videos with Mac are scripted.
There's been quite a few times that MrBeast has used CGI in videos, whether it's just to make something look better and more appealing to the visual eye, or according to the more serious claims, fake certain aspects of his videos.
We filmed a secret MrBeast video that will never be uploaded to YouTube. The only way you can...
Okay, so this
business
explosion,
exposés
I mean,
are intense.
real
From moldy
CGI.
lunches to
And the only man that can stop it is
like
this
watching
Okay,
a house of
so
cards collapse.
some people have pointed out this
trusted
shot
Mr.
as
Beast
being
as the good
potentially a
guy,
little
giving away
sussy.
millions.
Right, in terms of
But
CGI, what are
profiting
your
off
thoughts?
kids'
This
trust,
one didn't
that's
necessarily
devastating. Reflecting on my own admiration.
In an interview,
it
Jimmy
stings.
addressed his use of
How many
CGI
young
and how it can
fans lost
undermine the
money or
authenticity
faith?
of videos.
This
A good way
isn't
for the
charity.
interviewer to say,
It's
lie to your
calculated greed.
audience.
We're really
Hiding
pushing
behind
boundaries.
smiles.
Boundaries, and like I want to like keep leveling things up, and I think that's a cool way to do it. But it's not like there's some like playbook on how to like incorporate it, right? Because no one else really does it. Like also we rarely use it. Like I mean maybe like 0.5%, 0.1% of my shots. Majority of what we do, or sometimes we'll extend a set.
But this train track is CGI, these bus wheels are CGI.
While Jimmy just says a bunch of stuff on the use of CGI, he never actually states whether or not his team used CGI to overinflate certain aspects of the video, like making a town look abandoned when it's not, or claiming to do charitable work when they're not actually doing it, and so forth. With the allegation that Jimmy used CGI to make it look like he and his team built an entire hospital when they never did, Jimmy just says that was a dumb mistake. Whoops, my bad.
Honestly, truthful, dumb mistake. They were trying to show what this like building looked like in the past, and in the past that hospital wasn't there.
Jimmy even claimed that because people spread on the information of Jimmy using CGI in his videos, his philanthropy channel is now struggling to get sponsorships.
Truthfully, that channel is struggling to get brand deals because of all the slander on it, because everyone, you know, has convinced advertisers that the videos are fake.
I mean, it is a thing that he did utilize CGI, and people are talking about it. Dogpack404 went on further to talk about different aspects of Jimmy's videos that could be faked. He claimed that all videos featuring a man named Mac Hopkins were fake. That in fact, Mac Hopkins was an actor and a secret employee.
I found public records showing that Mac moved from California to Greenville, North Carolina, where Jimmy is located, back in August 2023, 2 months before he appeared as a contestant. According to a former MrBeast employee, this is around the time when Mac started working full-time on the editing team at MrBeast.
How do you make money? with what money?
The money that I made.
How do you make it?
The video later alleges that many MrBeast challenges are faked or rigged to have a more entertaining outcome.
On the 4th day of 7 days stranded at sea, you can clearly see there's no one in the shelter. These are their empty beds.
Dogpack404 showed that in one video, MrBeast selected a group of friends and employees for one of his challenge videos, but claimed he selected a group of random people.
Let's look at this video. The contestants are not random subscribers.
So many people had jobs.
Oh, that contestant had to get out for her job? I guess you forgot she's your hiring manager. I actually recognize a lot of people in this video, including Jimmy's own girlfriend.
Hey, anyone I'm friends with watching that wants 10 grand?
The MrBeast team has claimed that this particular video was done during COVID, and when they had COVID tested the random group of people, a few of them tested positive, which meant that they had to substitute those randomly selected people with people that they knew, employees, friends, so that the video could continue for those who were able to participate in the challenge. That being said, having some sort of disclaimer that he knew some of the people instead of just saying blatantly that this was random people may have felt more authentic and trustworthy to the audience, instead of finding out after the fact that it wasn't, as Jimmy claimed, a randomly selected group of people. Dogpack404 also levies the claim that MrBeast participated in illegal lotteries for his young audience, exploiting his young audience.
If you buy one of our limited edition 40 mil special shirts, then we will sign that shirt, and some of them will get random prizes. 5 minutes, we're gonna do the same thing again. We're gonna put $1,000 in a random order.
So this was a 6-hour live stream. They took it down off YouTube. During those 5 hours, I counted 46 illegal lotteries. At one point, MrBeast is informed that they ran out of PlayStations, and he says, "Are we trying to not sell merch?"
Our city is sold out of PlayStations. We don't have any. We have to give away. Are we trying to not sell merch?
So he clearly knows that they're making more money by running these illegal lotteries. Another shady thing he did was constantly suggest that they're doing too many giveaways to make a profit.
My guy over there doing the numbers is like, stop, please. It's like, you do realize every time you give away an Xbox and $1,000, you don't make money. I'm like, oh.
When there was just no way they were ever even close to losing money on this stream.
Jimmy has recently addressed the illegal lottery allegations and whether or not he thinks he ran an illegal lottery.
Just to be truthful, if people want a refund or think for whatever reason, like we did something wrong, like I'll send you a link. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, that's all I really have to say. Maybe I could do a follow-up in the future. I'm trying to you know, dig up all the footage from that live stream.
Jimmy seems to just dance around the topic. He doesn't answer the question of whether or not they ran an illegal lottery and whether or not he thought what they did was unethical. The content creator Soggy Cereals showed in a deep dive that some of what Dogpack404 claimed were illegal lotteries may not have been. The videos that featured these lotteries had in the caption "free to enter," which is a legally required aspect of a lottery. And it seems like in at least one of the MrBeast lottery videos mentioned in Dogpack404's video, his team was compliant with the legal requirements, disclaiming in the video itself that it's free to enter.
Dogpack claims they only informed people on the website that no purchase was necessary. But did you read the description? You know, the description which I got via the Wayback Machine, where it literally says free entry available. MrBeast verbally says it on stream.
Go shopmrbeast.com, buy the shirt or hoodie. You can be one of the people that come down and compete in the video. There's also a free entry on the site as well. 100 of which are going to be picked from, you know, people that buy this shirt or hoodie, or if you enter for free on the site as well.
Personally, I believe this situation to be a little bit of a gray area. While MrBeast does provide the disclaimer that it's free to enter, which is the legal requirement, Jimmy does it in a very confusing way, mentioning first that people who buy shirts get to enter the giveaway, and then saying it's also free to enter. It's a little bit of mixed messaging. Remember, his audience is predominantly 10-year-old boys, and they may not understand the nuance behind what Jimmy is saying. They may think that they need to buy a t-shirt in order to increase their odds for the lottery. It doesn't necessarily mean it's illegal, but it's definitely a little shady. Dogpack404's video was massively viewed by the public, and after he made his claims, different commentary YouTubers also spoke about the topic. Suddenly, the idea that MrBeast might not be as authentic as he makes himself appear online, as well as charitable, started to spread, and there began a concerted effort to try and discredit Dogpack404's claims by current MrBeast employees. A current MrBeast employee identified as Chucky came forward to try and defend Jimmy Donaldson. He posted a statement onto X saying, "I quickly want to debunk some of the info in this video since the guy who made it was on my team. It was my decision to fire him for erratic behavior. He worked at the company for less than a month and wasn't an employee for most of the videos he mentioned to have knowledge on." Chucky also revealed Dogpack404's name, which is Dawson. Chucky makes the lofty claim that Dawson admitted on Reddit to being under the influence of drugs during the filming of his video, which I'm guessing was an attempt to discredit Dawson. While some things that Dawson said have proved to be inaccurate or not entirely accurate, as I'm sort of explaining in this video, I still think that it's extremely strange that instead of trying to shed light on some of the inaccuracies in Dawson's video, the team members of MrBeast just went right to attacking him, trying to label him as a drug user. But Dogpack404 didn't seem to be too concerned with these tactics and came out with a second video. Dawson uploaded a second video titled, "I worked for MrBeast. He's a sociopath." Dawson collaborated with another former employee named Jake Weddle. Jake previously worked for MrBeast on videos like dumpster diving 100 dumpsters, extreme hide and seek, make this shot, win $300,000.
There was half the people who, if you made Jimmy happy, you were on the good half. Then these people got random bonuses and were usually moved up, had more screen time. I consistently was in the half that Jimmy did. Jimmy doesn't like me, that's fine. I don't like him either, it's okay. Oh, it feels so good to say. I don't like Jimmy. I hate you so much.
In the video, Jake Weddle spoke about MrBeast faking some of his videos, like in the video, destroying my friend's car and surprising him with a new one. And Jake claimed that the video was fake from his reaction to his mother's response.
He wanted to do a prank where, unbeknownst to the person, he takes a rock, crushes their car.
We're gonna take a meteor and we're gonna put it on Weddle's car. We're gonna take another meteor and put it on Marcus's car. Both of them have no idea that we're doing this. Weddle and Marcus are probably shocked. They had no idea.
That was the one and only time I had to, huh? My car? What? Mom, I'm about to call you about the meteor thing. You have no idea? Be surprised. Oh, she should have got the Oscar. Oh my God, on the fly, she goes, what? I'm on vacation.
Mom, my car has been destroyed. Wait, what? A meteor hit it.
During his employment, Jake Weddle found out that an older black employee was getting paid less to do the same job he was doing. Jake and the other employee eventually decided to ask for higher pay and were both fired.
I just walked in there and asked for not necessarily a gajillion dollars, but maybe a salary that was more proportional to the work I was doing, given how much revenue that work was doing. There was another writer there, older comic, black guy, he had a kid. And I got paid more than him, and I thought that was wild because he was older than me, had a child, we're doing the exact same job. You went to that meeting with me. And I said, I need XYZ or I'm out of here. And they said, bet, and they gave me a severance check the next day. And they gave him a severance check the next day.
One of the most concerning aspects of Jake Weddle's claims is when he talks about how he was part of a video where he had to get locked into solitary confinement. He needed to get locked into solitary confinement for 100 days for $100,000. But the video did not come out because it did not go well. The conditions in solitary confinement were extremely strenuous for Jake.
They were like, you're gonna be locked in this room and we gotta make sure you're on all the time. We're gonna have cameras on you all the time. I was like, okay, I can do this. It got to a point where like, they weren't turning the lights off. You know, I asked them, I said, can we like have like nighttime hours? You know? And they said no, because it would f up the time-lapse shots.
The production team didn't seem to do much to help the situation. At some point, MrBeast allegedly came on set and had Jake Weddle say to the camera how grateful he was for this money because he could now pay off his student loans.
Jimmy said, can you say to the camera how thankful you are that now you can pay back your student loans? You know how hard it was to do a take of that and pretend to make it genuine? I don't want to have student loans. I don't want to be in a cage. But Jimmy's the guy with the money, and if you do what he says, he'll do what you want. You want your student loans paid off? You just be in this cage.
But producers were starting to ask Jake Weddle whether or not he was doing okay because the footage they were getting was haunting. He then tapped out of the competition with 7 more days left. Jake did claim that MrBeast still gave him the $100,000, which that would be so messed up if he didn't after Jake had gone through so much mentally and physically to try and film this video for the MrBeast team. They never aired the video and instead worked out the kinks and continued to do solitary confinement videos with other people. Jake even claimed he was going to therapy over the filming experience, which there are so many documented studies that isolation, severe isolation, can mentally affect you greatly. In response to Jake's claims, Jimmy said that just because that's his experience when working with Jimmy doesn't mean that's everyone's experience.
I can never know 100% how something's gonna affect someone, right? We put 2 people in a room, Bailey and Susie, 100 days trapped together. One thing that Weddle struggled with was the lights being on, and he mentioned that in the video. But Bailey and Susie, on day 20 of 100 day trap together, I offered to turn the lights off for part of their prize pool, and they said no. What I'm trying to say is you never know how someone's gonna react to something, right? It's impossible to fully predict.
Maybe that's the issue with doing challenges and surprise charities. You don't know how an individual is going to act, yet you're putting them into unpredictable situations. In the case of solitary confinement, no one exactly knows how they'll react to that situation and whether or not it could extremely traumatize them. At least they got to walk away with some money and MrBeast got an entertaining video. It's fine if they can't sleep for the rest of their life. In this second video, Dogpack404 shows an internal document by the MrBeast team called How to Succeed in MrBeast Production. And the document starts with the subheading, No does not mean no.
When dealing with people outside MrBeast Productions, never take no at face value. Well, you shouldn't really be pressuring civilians to bend the rules that could get them fired, you know?
Yikes. So any employee could read that and take it to the extreme. Someone says no, that they don't want to be filmed, and that employee pushes and pushes them until they can get a yes, for example. In general, it's just a glaring warning sign that consent is not a priority with production and the filming team. In an interview, Jimmy tries to explain the no means no policy.
I wrote this little, I almost like advice book. There's a section that said, no does not mean no. And then they just like cropped that out. And they're like, look, this is proof Jimmy's immoral and evil. The gist of why we had a section that said no does not mean no is because we do, I don't know if anyone's ever seen our videos, crazy things that have never been done before.
But I don't think he brings up any new information. Instead, Jimmy just outright admits that he tells team members to push the limits, even when it comes to safety. Jimmy even brings up the topic of cranes and pushing the limit on safety concerns when it comes to cranes and getting permission to use them.
No one like tries to dangle an obstacle course from cranes. Let's say the obstacle course in the sky where we had like this obstacle courses that Mac did held up by these cranes weighed like 100,000 pounds or whatever. Like they would call crane companies and they'd be like, no. And then they'd be like, okay, hang up. And they come to me and they go, Jimmy, they said, no, we can't do it. The video's not possible. And it's like, okay, well, of course they're going to say no because everything we do has never been done before.
Which sounds familiar. I think there's another YouTuber who pushed the limits when it comes to cranes and it ended up with serious injuries and major complications, virtually ruining that YouTuber's career. Maybe let's just not around with cranes. It also creates an entire company culture. The things that you say create the culture. So his company culture is around not taking no for an answer. In Dawson's video, Jake Weddle also reveals that MrBeast employee was fired for SA minors. He claimed that Jimmy covered up things and knowingly hired a registered defender.
If it could be investigated,
as someone who's seen idols crumble, this reminds me how fame can twist good intentions into something dark.
He's on the registry for doing some not great stuff to some underage people. And they knew that. And they covered up the fact that not only did he work there, but he was like the manager when it all started.
And the S offender was a man who showed up in MrBeast videos wearing a mask.
He'll be in videos. He'll be in thumbnails. He'll be around. And whenever he is, he's wearing a mask.
Jake claimed that this employee was nicknamed Delaware because he was not allowed to be in the state Delaware. Delaware.
Apparently they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. That's his nickname? Colloquially? Like, yeah, it's Delaware. Don't ask him why.
Jimmy has claimed he had no idea about Delaware's past.
I walked into my local Best Buy and I just hired multiple people. One of them was the person named Delaware. And no, I did not know he was a registered offender.
At this moment, it's hard to tell how much Jimmy knew about Delaware's past. That being said, the claim that a man's name is Delaware because he's banned in the state of Delaware starts to fall apart when you really look at it. As the YouTuber Soggy Cereal pointed out, it's extremely rare for someone to ever actually be banned from a state.
State banishments are extremely rare. Most recent one I found was a 1-year Kentucky banishment in the year 2000.
It wouldn't make sense that that was the reason behind Delaware's nickname, but at the same time, I don't want to outright call Jake Weddle a liar. Maybe it was just office gossip. Twitter users Internet Anarch and Octopox YouTube posted documents from the S Offender Registry regarding a man named Charles R. Jefferson, who's believed to be Delaware. According to their posts, the man's victim was between 1 and 11 years old. Then Jake the Viking, who's another MrBeast employee, posted onto X defending Delaware and claiming that he's his brother-in-law. He claimed that when Delaware was 21, a 16-year-old girl accused him and others of SA when she was 11. Delaware took a plea deal. That's why there was no jail time, but he still had to register. Jake the Viking also claimed that his nickname was Delaware because he came from Delaware, which at this point, the focus on the nickname Delaware feels like a distraction from the main point, which is that Jimmy hired a registered S offender. Jake the Viking claimed that Delaware explained his situation to Jimmy and Jimmy's mom Sue before he was hired, though MrBeast heavily disputes this.
A rumor that's gone around that said that he sat me and my mom down and told us. Obviously, I don't remember that happening.
Sure, let's say that Jimmy had no idea about Delaware's past. His brother-in-law obviously did, and his brother-in-law, Jake the Viking, defends Delaware and doesn't see anything wrong with his past, knowingly associated with this registered S offender. Ava Chris Tyson, Jake the Viking, Delaware. Can you imagine what kind of company culture this creates with these people being so heavily involved in the MrBeast company? Because of all of these allegations, Jimmy Donaldson ended up hiring a new PR firm. MrBeast hired Matthew Hiltzick's Crisis Management Company. Hiltzick previously served as a senior vice president of corporate communications and government relations at Harvey Weinstein's Miramax, and now represents a lot of politicians and A-listers. Leaked documents obtained by the Daily Mail show that celebrity lawyer Alex Spiro sent a cease and desist to Dawson, using power and financial resources to try and intimidate and crush anyone who speaks out against you. MrBeast is such an ethical, charitable king. But this did not stop Dogpack404 from coming out with a third video. Dawson talked about the former MrBeast COO, LaKoya Hill. LaKoya previously ran an adult entertainment business and was allegedly a former adult actor. Dawson makes the claim that LaKoya was put on leave because he harassed his male coworkers.
In late 2021, he was allegedly fired for assaulting his assistant. He was actually quietly moved to the dubbing company, which was Unilingo at the time. Here is proof that he used the LaKoya at unilingo.tv email. He was actually brought back to MrBeast in 2023 after assaulting his assistant prior, and promoted to Chief Financial Officer, which is how I personally was introduced to him.
Also a claim levied at James Warren, a former MrBeast employee, of SAing a female employee.
He's Jimmy's cousin and secret CEO. And then the really big thing is that there was some incident between him and a female colleague that resulted in the female colleague leaving the company and receiving 3 years in severance pay.
Lastly, Dawson shares text messages from a former female employee who says that the workplace culture is toxic and sexist.
On my very first day, I was told to avoid being alone in a room with certain people in positions of power. At least once a week, I was subjugated to inappropriate questions and conversations. Once, a male coworker asked me what I would do if Jimmy assaulted or harassed me. You can't take anything to HR either because Jimmy's mom runs it.
All of these employees who are at the top of the company that have been accused of serious issues, who would have thought that the workplace culture is a little bit toxic and sexist? The investigation into MrBeast's company, which MrBeast himself initiated and paid for, so you know it's gotta be unbiased, finalized after all the Dogpack 404 videos.
How would you respond to the allegation that the investigation was biased from the start?
Yeah. We hired Quinn Emanuel, which is one of the top law firms in the world. Like, I mean, it was very expensive. I mean, I think another thing that missing context people don't have is like, if they found anything illegal, they're obligated to report it to the police.
The investigation produced the following significant findings. The report reads, allegations of sexual misconduct between company employees and minors are without basis. The allegations were soundly rejected, including by alleged victims. That feels like a case of semantics, because clearly the employee they're referring to, Ava Chris Tyson, had a very inappropriate relationship with minors. While it is probably good that they looked into whether or not sexual misconduct took place, I don't think that's necessary to realize that what Ava Chris Tyson did was wrong. The power imbalance, manipulation, and potential grooming that could take place. Allegations of the company knowingly employing individuals with proclivities or histories towards illegal or questionable illegal conduct are similarly without basis. I'm assuming this is in reference to Delaware. The report also claimed several isolated instances of workplace harassment and misconduct were identified during the investigation. The company was informed of such conduct and took swift and appropriate actions to address the incidents, including, where necessary, disciplining or letting go of implicated individuals. The way the report presents this information feels untrustworthy. In general, the entire process didn't seem very transparent to the public. And when you're as massive of an influencer as MrBeast, transparency is everything. Our charitable, caring king has disappeared behind a wall of corporate jargon. There's also been a lot of talk about how this investigation is pretty obviously biased. Jimmy literally paid someone to find him innocent. Jimmy was asked if he was going to sue Dawson and said in a roundabout way that yes, Jimmy is planning a case against Dawson.
Are you going to sue Dogpack?
Well, there's tons of examples of him intentionally manipulating things to not be true. I mean, I've literally had people pull out millions of dollars and then tell me it was directly because of his video. Don't worry, I instantly was like, can you send that in writing? So, you know, if I win a case or anything, I can directly point damages. No reason why.
I'm not a legal expert and I don't know if the case has any grounds. From what I've heard, defamation is extremely hard to prove. There have been some things Dawson claimed as absolute truths that aren't necessarily as black and white. And in this video, I've shown the other perspective of things case by case as each new situation's brought up. People have also claimed that Dogpack is nothing but a disgruntled former employee of MrBeast, claiming that he grew bitter after he parted on bad terms with the company and was let go. And alleged leaked audio messages of Dawson's firing have been spread online.
Because you're trying to fire me and I want to work at this company.
I'm the CEO of this company. If I'm talking, don't interrupt me. I'm telling you this is what's happening and you're telling me that I'm wrong. I am not wrong. I've made the decision. Here, we will take care of it.
I appreciate that. Can I please have a second chance?
It's not.
The thing is, I feel like I've seen that argument before with countless different whistleblowers. A whistleblower comes out with important information or wrongdoings about a company, and then they're labeled as disgruntled or bitter because they were let go of that company or no longer working for them. Not only does it feel like a very surface level attempt to discredit any claims someone makes, but it also feels like a logical fallacy, focusing on the person themselves and any wrong things they can nitpick about them, instead of focusing on the actual allegations and disputing those allegations. Because if a company did a lot of wrong things, then yeah, an employee is probably going to be bitter and disgruntled about that. And that doesn't mean that everything Dawson has done is perfect, or that Dawson is a hero and Jimmy is a villain. No one is solely morally good or morally evil, and I hope this video on MrBeast proves that case. Ultimately, Dawson's videos raised a lot of important concerns surrounding the MrBeast company work environment and team. And with all the news surrounding the wrongdoings of the MrBeast games, I think there needs to be a fundamental change in the operations of the MrBeast empire. Jimmy signed a $100 million deal with Prime Video to host a reality competition show called Beast Games. The initial concept of the show that was advertised is 1,000 contestants would compete for a $5 million reward, one of the biggest competitions that MrBeast has done yet, and which the press release claimed was the biggest single prize in the history of television and streaming.
The grand prize of the most insane competition show you've ever seen. And competing for it are these 1,000 contestants!
So of course, thousands of people jumped at the chance to be able to compete in this game and win $5 million, even though there wasn't much information about what contestants would actually be doing. A lot of MrBeast videos have very extreme premises, complete isolation, living in a box, so you wonder what he would have 1,000 contestants do for the chance to win $5 million. Several contestants ended up speaking to the New York Times about the intake process, and the contestants were reportedly asked whether they'd be willing to be buried alive or travel to space.
The stakes have never been higher.
When you think about a person being asked if they would be willing to go to those extremes, you realize how dangerous these video concepts are in general. Putting people through all of this dangerous actions so you can film their reactions for good content while they're clearly desperately trying to win money that could change their entire lives in the future. And the more desperate the better, so you can get those tear-jerking clips about how badly these people need the money, all to put into your content. That's not exploitative at all. He's just a generous, kind guy. It's also clear that Jimmy's concepts are escalating more and more, but at what cost?
This challenge might be the most cutthroat thing I've ever done. There are Navy SEALs coming for you. With massive challenges. Welcome to the elimination train!
That is never. Been done on TV before.
Shooting for the competition started in July of this year, and the competition started with 2,000 contestants, and all of these contestants were crammed into the Allegiant Stadium in Nevada. These 2,000 people had to all stay within the stadium, eating, sleeping, and living there. Applicants were required to sign a contract reviewed by the Times that said, "I understand that such activities may cause me death, illness, or serious bodily injury, including but not limited to exhaustion, dehydration, overexertion, burns, and heat stroke." And during the competition, a lot of contestants were put in danger. Over a dozen participants who competed in the first round of Beast Games spoke to the New York Times, and these contestants claimed they weren't even given proper food during the competition.
Given maybe 400 calories a meal and only fed every 12 hours. Food would run out and people would fight over, steal, and hoard food. Water was scarce and kept running out as well.
While doing all of these extreme challenges in Nevada in the middle of July. That sounds like hell. On a few occasions, production staff handed out feastable chocolate bars and then filmed people eating it and saying how much they liked the chocolate for an advertisement placement, instead of getting them proper nutrition that they needed to be able to do the competition. And things were even worse for people with food allergies and dietary restrictions. Several contestants claimed that they were fed food they were allergic to, and alternatives weren't provided, nor were they given proper medical care, and some competitors suffered serious injuries from the challenges, and the competitions required them to move heavy objects and compete in games like Capture the Flag. Even more concerning, before the competitors even arrived at the stadium, they had to turn in all their belongings, including their phone and medications. These contestants were then told that the medications would be distributed to them when needed. So production had to keep track of the medication schedule of 2,000 contestants. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a recipe for disaster. As you can guess, several contestants claimed they did not receive their medication on time, including one contestant who needed insulin.
I was a contestant until the end. I also didn't accept their hush money. It was really bad. People were having seizures because they were not getting medication, even though we were promised we would.
Before the competition took place, contestants described how Jimmy stepped out of a shrine-like structure and onto a platform above $5 million in cash, and they were instructed to cheer.
3, 2, 1.
There's so many things that feel inherently wrong with that image. Jimmy casting himself as a godlike figure almost, a perfect patron that people should worship and adore, the mysterious benefactor of this life-threatening competition, the king of YouTube looking down on all of his peasants who is going to put through immense danger, all so they can maybe have a chance to win whatever cash he decides to bestow them. It truly feels like these contestants were treated like lower class citizens, as if they weren't deserving of respect just because they wanted to compete in this competition. Making this even worse, contestants even claimed the staff was rude and unhelpful, even cursing at contestants, laughing at them when they were in need.
I asked someone if they had anything to eat because I was feeling lightheaded, and they told me to push through and basically suck it up. I witnessed 2 people that had seizures, and it took medical several minutes for them to get there. I'm assuming this happened because they did not have access to medication.
What an inhumane and dehumanizing experience to put people through.
I believe that they were in over their heads and did not plan very well. There was no clear communication between the contestants and production. I think this was because production knew just about as much as we knew.
And things got even worse when the competition started. The first challenge involved 5 teams of 400 people pulling ropes attached to 10,000-pound weights as fast as possible. Because of the massive amount of people crammed into this stadium to compete in this competition, well, you can probably imagine when this competition kicked off, the mass chaos that ensued, especially with teams of 400 people. There was a crush of people just pushing and shoving one another, and the production staff was unable to calm the crowd. I mean, did they not think riots could possibly happen with 2,000 people crammed into a stadium all competing for $5 million? Did they not think that contestants probably would be in danger even from other contestants themselves? Once the chaos started, one contestant claimed that they started hyperventilating. Another said she'd been almost horizontal and was afraid of being trampled, which is a real danger with that kind of crowd. One person said she left the stadium bruised and bleeding after being eliminated in the first challenge. She was handed $1,000 bills, a stack of money as a sort of consolation prize, but was told after filming took place that she had to hand it back. Production said they would send the actual money eventually, but a lot of people claimed that never happened.
They offered anyone who lost $1,000 to sign away their rights to join any kind of class action lawsuit of any kind. I didn't sign, so I didn't get the money.
And those who made it past the first challenge were given toiletry kits and sleeping bags and slept on the floor of the stadium. But to make it even worse, contestants were told they had to sleep during the daytime because the challenges took place at night.
We were also sleep deprived, only allowed 3 to 4 hours. We all slept on the floor in the stadium in a $10 sleeping bag.
Sleeping during the day in the Nevada summer? Again, this sounds like absolute hell. In the end, 4 challenges took place in that initial round, eliminating half of the 2,000 people. And the 1,000 people who made it through all 4 challenges are now preparing for the next stage of the competition. But before this next stage of the competition even took place, a lawsuit was filed due to the seemingly dangerous and reckless acts of production. A lawsuit filed in LA Superior Court alleges multiple causes of action related to chronic mistreatment of and neglect suffered by participants in Beast Games. Attorneys for the Beast Games contestants said in a statement, several contestants ended up being hospitalized, while others reported suffering physical and mental complications while being subjected to chronic mistreatment, degradation, and, for the female contestants, hostile working conditions.
It was 100% rigged. All the games were about speed and strength, so only the young athletic males were at an advantage over the women and elderly people. Men started realizing that they could take out the women without being eliminated. Guys started tackling and hitting women. 2 girls were tackled and passed out on the field and were dragged off to continue filming. I saw people with broken bones, stitches, etc., and most were women.
The fact that from these claims, it doesn't seem like there was anything in place to prevent women from getting sexually harassed in this competition is mind-blowing. Are you serious? But no, MrBeast is just a charitable king who cares about doing good for others, leaving women in a crowd of 2,000 people to get sexually harassed, leaving people with allergies and medical needs without their medications, without proper food. How can you claim to be a legitimate, successful company who's done hundreds of these types of competitions, and yet you haven't thought these things through? You'd think at this time this would be standard for a production company who's done challenges where people stay days in a box, where tons of groups of people compete together. And yet these sorts of things weren't thought out. They weren't already commonplace. Portions of the lawsuit lawsuit have been redacted, including the allegations of sexual harassment. But the lawsuit seeks to establish a pattern of sexual harassment, according to the attorneys representing the 5 plaintiffs. The complaint also cites examples from the handbook How to Succeed in MrBeast Production that says if talent wants to draw a dick on the whiteboard in the video or do something stupid, let them. Really do everything you can to empower the boys when filming and help them make content. Help them be idiots. Which is an extremely alarming statement if you think about how far someone could take that. Doing stupid things could very easily become sexual harassment, especially if it's encouraged by the production, putting all other participants in the video in an unsafe environment. I just hope all these contestants are able to receive justice. Because if you think about it, they were reeled in with the promise of money, a life-changing amount of money, and then they were put through a degrading process. Also, MrBeast can have an entertaining reality show.
My heart is broken into pieces right now.
I don't trust anyone. I'm here for myself and my family.
Everything is on the line.
The mind games have begun.
All of these controversies of MrBeast ultimately has led to the public viewing him in a different light. His charitable giving persona completely washing away, stained by the harm he's seemingly put others through. Just looking through the history of MrBeast, his entire claim to fame was his philanthropy content and being seen as a giving person. Not-for-profit Jimmy. People enjoyed watching his content so much because they felt it was positively impacting other people. But when reports of serious harm from people participating in the video and the MrBeast company are spreading, as well as information that makes one distrust the content of a MrBeast video, all the good feels that people had when watching a MrBeast video is completely stripped away. And that is how we get the fall of the MrBeast empire. Of course, Jimmy will probably find ways to continue making content and working on his businesses. He's claimed multiple times in various interviews that he'll never stop making YouTube videos. But the entire foundation that the MrBeast brand and videos were built on has been completely stripped away, shattered in the eyes of the viewer. When social media is built off of public perception and you lose the image your brand was built off of, your brand slowly disappears and fades out. Your empire comes crumbling down.